I'll put that just for a sec. Oh, come on. Damn. Okay, there we go. There we go. Alright, now to smoke bowl. Come on, phone, you can do it. Oh, it's fine. Phone itself is okay. Post-election hangover MC. Hey, I guess everyone's starting to come in. Alright. Man, YouTube's like algorithm is weird when I do these streams. Like some days it'll pop like within a minute, and then sometimes it'll just pop like literally 10 minutes later. It's so weird. Well, Hawks unexpectedly agrees. So with your take the feds are lost cause, he agrees so we need to focus on state level now. I legit did not come here due to notification, just happenstance. Oh, nice. But yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with it. I mean, I still want to fight to either take that down or, fucking change it up, just smash shit up, so to speak, you know what I mean? Figuratively, of course. So, in order to really do that, you need to kind of go on the focus of state level shit, though. I mean, and honestly, in order to really fix the Fed level, you need to work on the local state level. We'll kind of get more into it a little bit, because frankly, this is like one of my things I wanted to kind of bring up, because, honestly, it's just one of those things where it's very obviously, the conversation is going to keep going, you know what I mean? From yesterday, from, all that shit. Mission 111. I mean, implement the ones that we got passed. I mean, they should be implemented already. And the fact that that hasn't been implemented yet is fucking ridiculous. Oh my god. There we go. So much for a wide sage. Yeah, isn't Michael Moore known for getting like predictions when it comes to like getting predictions right and shit? Though frankly, a lot of people fucking got shit wrong. The only ones that really didn't were just basically like Trump supporters saying the polls. Like they were all the ones that were all amped up, like, doing their usual shtick. And then the polls like showed that things were really fucking tight, kind of leading up. And I kind of knew that was likely going to happen. I just kind of figured that, Kamala will be the one to at least win even without a popular vote. But no. More people got it wrong this time than last. Oh, for sure. Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is like one of the times where, like, outside of like the 2016 election, where a lot of people just straight up like either were fucking liars or, were just so fucking cracked out on fucking coke that, they just didn't see the writing on the wall that, was bound to potentially happen if they didn't do anything to address it. It's just me, or do the maggots not seem happy as they should be? I've seen bragging for people you'd expect, like Matt Walsh's, but for the most part, it's pretty tepid. Yeah. You vote for a camera right now, retribution, like what the fuck? Well, the Democrats are at fault for that. Frankly, I don't really blame most voters outside of like the loyal like Trump supporter base, which is like a good 35% of the country anyway. But, considering with like, considering that like what, like Trump got like 50% of the popular vote. So there's at least like 20% of people that either like flip-flop like a fucking fish and don't pay attention and shit. or we're so disfranchised with Democrats because they're total fuck ups and have no ability to, like, actually have a good, strong victory. It's like they forgot what any of that was after Obama came in, practically, and they just don't even know how to do that anymore. Just back in office, that's cool, I guess. MAGA. Yeah. Honestly, I expected a lot of shit. I even was thinking that there would be, like, protests and stuff from last night to tonight. Nothing. Honestly, all in all, it's been very fucking tepid when it comes to how people feel about this. I mean, even like in here, like a few nights, I think on my lunch break, there was like some Trump dude who's like, have fun coping later. And I was sitting here like, bruh, ain't me that would need to cope. And maybe it may not be you, but it ain't me. There's nothing for him to latch onto. Yeah. Because this culture war stuff that like Democrats and Republicans love to use, like when it comes to using the pawn of black people, Palestinians, trans people, and just queer people broadly, like there wasn't really much outside of like the Palestinian like Gaza situation, and even then there wasn't really that much at that point. Like it was like way more earlier in the year, but that was when Biden was still running. But now with Kamala, like they basically, and this is definitely true, and I know this for a fact, they basically, after they did the whole like first like couple weeks where they're like, oh, these Republicans, they're fucking weird, and all this other shit where there was a little controversy and shit going on, like that's when the Democrats actually started looking good. Like, and actually were bumping up. Like they were actually kind of getting on the up and up when doing that. But they, the staffers wanted to be all civil and not be too mean because they don't want to like marginalize people or something. And basically by doing that, marginalized like most of this fucking country by not offering them a lick of a damn dick, to actually like, have something to vote for. Especially when it comes to, people's like, housing and rent. And when it comes to like their wages, when it comes to fucking, the economy. Like Democrats have not done anything for that shit. And people are sick of hearing promises. They want shit done. I mean, it's like when it comes to the Fed level things, who's exceptionally a lost cause out of everybody is the Democratic Party. I've been saying have been a lost cause, frankly. This should fucking prove it. I mean, it really should prove that they were legit just not a fucking cause we're fucking, amping up with and fucking, going rah-rah system, Bob political FUBA bullshit with anymore. At least on the national level. I've been saying that for a while, and I've even mentioned when it came to electoral stuff, like after this, regardless of the results, I'm not going to be like, focusing on that unless I'm critiquing on it. And that's it. Like, because I won't, at this point, I don't even want to hear a fucking entertaining thoughts of the idea of, being like, oh, well, the Dems, it's like, shut up. I don't want to hear it. I refuse to hear it. Like, I'll shut that mouth down so goddamn quick at this point because, like, it's like you're, trying to, like, bolster up a party that is literally would rather stab me in back pretty much every fucking time. Snatch the jaws of defeat from, snatch defeat from the, claws of victory, basically. The masters at that. I mean, it's like, what, do you expect me to continue to support that over and over and over and over again? I mean, at this rate, it's like, I don't blame a lot of people for just sitting it out. Or maybe voting the other way because, I'm going to spike Democrats because they fucked us, in a lot of ways. And, hey, we're going to have to go for the hiccup of Trump one time, but hopefully they'll, like, get the Democrats to fucking realize something. People feel that way. Do I necessarily agree with that? No. But people feel that way, though. At least some people do. Are Democrats, going to learn from that? Probably not. I absolutely guarantee you they're now starting to like figure out how to do, campaign funding and all this other shit for 2026 and 2028. Like, I guarantee you they're not reflecting on like how they fucked up. Like, I mean, I would actually generally be kind of shocked if like a lot of, the, Democratic higher ups and shit would actually be like, oh, well, we did kind of fuck up and maybe we should stop like, basically ratcheting to the right. Maybe we should probably stop that. Like, I would actually be a little shocked if they fucking did that, because that would actually be a break of their normal pattern. Feels like nothing short of acute widespread nonpartisan suffering before shit changes. And, like, maybe that's what's going to happen with Trump, to be fucking frank. That's probably a possibility. It could also be deadlocked, and maybe nothing really happens outside of usual Republican bullshit like tax cuts for the rich, maybe a few things that Trump wants to try to do. Like have like very far right Christian nationalistic judges and judicial courts and shit, because it might make the DNC suffer. I didn't say I agree with it. I'm just saying that that's how some people feel, and yeah, I think it is a little, fucking brain dead. It's stupid. Because, like, if you want to, like, fight the Dems, don't support them. Don't give you your money. It's just like, don't support them. At least, especially candidates that, are not in your interests. Like, when Bernie was running for the Democratic Party, like, he's, someone who, like, practically was, like, caucusing for them, right? Like, so he'd be somebody that, obviously would, be someone who you'd be able to vote for. In comparison to what the party, pushes out, which would be trying to push him aside, for their own fucking narrative and just continuing to maintain status quo of their own coffers. This fascist bullshit was straight out in the open. I know. That's why I don't agree with the idea of, like, spiting the Dems by shifting to the right more than the Democrats, basically. Like, the logic is stupid because the Democrats are already moving pretty fucking right, on various different issues. And it's like, oh, well, spike them because reasons, it's stupid. I do believe votes this time. I don't. I blame this is strictly on the Democratic Party and Kamala Harris. All the fault is on them, and frankly, period. If they didn't want to lose the popular vote and the Electoral College, they should have actually fucking, grown some fucking goddamn balls. I mean, it's been shit I've been saying for quite a while, and they should not have fucking, just ignored the uncommitted voters, because a lot of them probably legit would have turned out if she actually fucking did something worth the fuck about Gaza. Google searches for what happened to Biden spiked during the election. So some people probably just voted third party, maybe just didn't fill that out because they didn't know who she was. See, this also, that people sometimes just don't know. They would be like, well, the devil I know, who the fuck is this? Devil I know, I guess. Some people will just do that. Because of the whole, like, the devil you know versus the angel you don't, idea. Like, some people legit feel that way and, thought that because they just are dumb and don't pay attention to that type of shit, which, frankly, I don't necessarily blame a lot of Americans for not wanting to pay attention. But I was even trying to tell Marcus last night, it's like, because I know he's kind of one of those type of people a little bit. It's just like, hey, I mean, you might not care about politics, but politics is going to care about you. And whether you like that or not. He kind of went, yeah, you're kind of right. But I don't know if it actually kind of full on registered because, and I get it, he's kind of a little bit of a frat boy and stuff, I suppose, but whatever. It's just like, there's a lot of people just like him who just don't bother with it. Whether casually or like kind of like being little wonks like we are. 79% of Oregonians voted against raising corporate taxes that would directly result in more money for them. What the fuck? Dude, because a lot of the electorate in this country is fucking stupid. You realize that, like, our entire system is, like, fucked our education over, like, over the fucking, like, 3 to 4 fucking generations now? Like, I mean, we are being stunted as an American populace. So you know that 60% of Americans, cannot read over a 6th grade level? Over 60% of Americans don't have a college, like reading level, when it comes to like being able to read and when it comes to literacy. That's a fucking problem. And you think that, and you don't think that doesn't correlate, to how people, inform themselves politically and electorally? Because it absolutely the fuck does. We need to focus on self-care, not UBI, and apparently invest in education instead of UBI. Apparently, dude, education, it's one of my kind of big peeves sometimes outside of healthcare and right now, the Democrats at this point. You know, like outside of like those, you know, like two, like education's a big thing because our country is dumb. And I don't really necessarily blame people for that. I blame our education system. I blame parents for not like, you know, trying to fill the role and educate their kids, like, you know, growing up before school and shit. You know, it's like kind of on both on that front. Because they're literally raising up a generation of stunted fucking idiots. I mean, we just are. And I don't necessarily blame those people because, if anything, I just feel bad for them because they just don't know better. I mean, that's why I don't inherently really blame the voters as a predominant, you know, thing. I mean, I will blame some, sure. I mean, there's an element of that where there is a problem, you know, there. But a lot of it's really, you know, a symptom of a bigger problem. And in that case, a lot of it's really just due to our education being broken and continuously being broken, you know, in this country as it continues to go unaddressed. I mean, there is a little bit here because I know, like, during some of this, like, union, rise and shit that's been happening the last couple of years. Which, I mean, hey, if there is a silver lining, there's going to probably be a lot more aggression about that. You think a lot of these unions who've been gaining some major traction lately are just going to sit around and let their shit get busted up? Fuck no. Like, I mean, especially if the Teamsters Union, there's going to be a fight about that. You know what I mean? So it's like, especially with that already going on, I know teachers have been a part of that. So, I mean, you know, I don't think, you know, when it comes to a lot of this type of shit, you know, like they're going to, you know, just give that shit up. But the problem is that, like, yeah, giving teachers better pay, you know, and shit like that, helping try to downsize class sizes and hire more teachers, that helps. But that isn't really going to solve anything. I won't be surprised if they're outlawed in the near future. Gilded Age. Back in the Gilded Age. Because during the Gilded Age of America, during the 1800s, like, you know, once labor and leftism really started to become a major fucking predominant, you know, movement, guess what it was outlawed and what was illegal? Organizing and having unions. So now we're just straight dead ass going back to the Gilded Age when it comes to, like, government and economics. So that's what I'm saying. You know, I mean, I don't really think this shit's just going to go out without a fight, at least when it comes to that front. Make a state issue like abortion. When it comes to, you know, the issue of labor, you know, that's a global issue. I mean, let alone a national one. So, I mean, they'll try, but it never will be. By the way, I had like 3 messages bit up top. So what happened if all these people like 2020 were like, no matter who wins, we're going to push them left. So that's just off the table now? Cool. Yeah, if anything, you actually kind of have to go to the right, you know, get the endorsements of Liz Cheney and, like, you know, people of the Bush administration and, you know, basically just, like, you know, cuddle up to, you know, some Republicans who pretty much been disenfranchised with MAGA or something reasons. And then just fucking, you know, boom. There you go. That, you know, that's actually how you do it. First, the rest states will cheer them on. I'm not completely 100% about that. There will definitely be a lot of conservatives that are pretty anti-union and would be okay with it because they're idiots. But there's also a lot of conservatives that, if you critique their, you know, unions, because a lot of them will be in trade jobs, like whether Teamsters or, like, you know, ironwork or, you know, electrical working. Like, I mean, it's kind of, I mean, like politics is a little separate from, like, union politics. But when it comes to union politics, it's pretty fairly left, even with conservative leaning people, because they'll be like, wait, what? I got all these benefits and, like, you know, overtime pay and this and that and blah, blah, blah because of the union. I mean, because I'm an IBEW local, blah, blah, blah. And, like, what, this son of a bitch is going to try to break that? You know, there's a lot of people like that. A lot of people in this country are union members are kind of conservative leaning. And, yeah, a lot of them vote against their own interests because, you know, they just don't know better. It plays into the, you know, the role of, like, our problem of education and the lack of being properly informed. And all this other shit. What's up, buddy? Try to call you. I know I'm missing a few comments here. I mean, I know. Though I think, you know, frankly, all in all, you know, it's one of those things where it's like we all need to talk, you know, kind of shit. You know what I mean? Dust is settled. Now what? You know. So my bad. But by the way, I did see the message. Your package is over here. It's sitting over here. thought they're being deported. So I'm so confused. Wait, if Trump tanks the economy, will MAGA even care? Yeah. Oh, yeah, they will. Yeah, like if they realize that, suddenly they can't pay the bills, they can't get the groceries, and, their wages aren't, being able to be keeping up with that. Oh, yeah, they'll be pissed. They may not inherently realize the source of the problem. But the thing is, a lot of Americans, and this is just in general, not just with conservatives, and a lot of Americans, they look at the current administration as the fault of whatever problems they're having when it comes to like their bills or when it comes to their wallet. Like they will, doesn't matter who it is. Like they'll look at the current administration and be like, "Why aren't you fixing shit?" Or "It's your fault, fuck you," kind of shit. They're continuing to share on policies causing it. I mean, I'm saying this not as an absolute, by the way. I should mention that. Like, obviously, you're going to get some straight dead-ass motherfucking idiots that are going to be, like, too retarded to, like, realize that Joe Biden isn't a thing anymore. I guess he still technically is right now, but, whatever. I mean, you get the point, though. It's like, I mean, at least because a year or two down the line, yeah, you'll definitely get some people like that for sure. But at the end of the day, like, I mean, most people are going to realize, like, it ain't Joe because he's not even a thing anymore. I haven't heard news from him outside of, Trump, the current president, who's bitching about him sometimes. Is this son of a bitch actually doing anything for me? Because you have to remember, I mean, a factor that did play a role in helping Biden win during 2020 was that there were some Trump people that did get disenfranchised of Trump because, they saw him as the fault of a lot of their problems because it's like, yeah, nothing's really getting done. I thought, the economy would be better and stuff, and I guess I suppose some is, but, it ain't putting more bread on my plate, kind of bullshit. Granted, that wasn't, the mass hyperinflation that happened after COVID and shit because of corporate price gouging and shit. That didn't quite happen yet. But, they were feeling it, though, a little. And it was a small segment of them. But there was at least enough of them to probably, at least back then, to maybe help put Biden over the edge. But because nothing practically happened for a lick of a damn dick outside of just a genocide in Gaza and busting a railroad strike and maybe kind of ish helping unions to kind of pretend that didn't happen or whatever. Like, I mean, outside of like a couple things and a few bills here and there, like the carrier bill or whatever, or not the carrier bill, but like the CHIPS Act and shit. It's like, outside of like a couple things that you can kind of nitpick here and there, fuck all happens. And none of it really has an ultimate impact on people's daily like lives when it comes to how like the economy hits them. And people were, were fucking struggling. People still are, and people were fucking wondering like, how's our government gonna fix this shit? And and they never saw an alternative or at least anything remotely like as at least some sort of a means to address it from Biden. Kamala never fucking really properly did anything about this type of shit. And and this is what happens. And at the end of the day, this is literally basically, what happens when you don't give people something to vote for. Because even if people are fucking dumb and might vote against their own interests, they're not that fucking stupid. Not going back because Biden promised nothing fundamentally changed. Yeah, people forget that sometimes. When I say, I don't mean you guys, by the way, just in general. Yeah. He wasn't in 2020. No, but with Biden running against Trump, yeah. I mean, that's what I was talking about from earlier. Because Trump was still president technically at that time. Until after, Biden won. I mean, 2020 election. You know what I meant, right? I'm not even sure of that anymore. Well, when I mean not that stupid, I mean predominantly more of like, kind of like a gut intuition thing. Now, it's flawed. It's not even really something you should really take for like, serious consideration. But every now and then, some of your gut just says, And I feel like for some people, it will be a matter of time before that, hits people again. Big business mind. Again, I know I missed some comments. I'll go back up and read some. They'll keep blaming Biden after he's 5 feet down. That just made me think of something. I'm putting a pin on it. Here, I know there was like a few that were sent up. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I don't think I've seen these yet. Don't think it's going to be like 2025 Trump. Folks, we have implemented the latest in queer erasure technology. Behold, the sodomy sonar is the greatest technology. Elon Musk, the greatest man, the smartest of brains, has developed it. This bad boy can detect 2 men having butt sex within a 40-mile radius. 40-mile radius, folks. That's a lot of miles. A lot of miles. A lot of miles. Man, I'm gonna have to really like work up my Trump impersonation now. I'm just because, man, we're gonna need a little bit of humor, and I know that I at least have somewhat of a decent impersonation because I have been told multiple times by multiple people that I have a good Trump impersonation. I have a very good impersonation, folks. A very beautiful impersonation. No one does it better than me, folks. No one does it better than me. Cut to two SWAT dressed people at a helicopter. The radar goes off and they talk on the radio. At the ground, we have a car going in and out of the mail in the mail's ass 14 miles due east. They were clear to move in over. How copy? Damn. The Ukraine guy just adjacent to my company seems to have to say he probably hardcore fucked with Trump in power. I'll say this much: Ukraine better win that fucking war within the next 3 fucking months. I'll say that much. Another reason why maybe, like, you know, trying to, like, force peace talks, you know, and shit, like, would probably have been a preferable alternative versus letting it just continue to just drag on and shit, and grog on into a fucking, like, you know, just literal, like, meat grinder, you know, because now, do you think Trump's gonna do anything good about that? What if they'll try peace too? Oh, you know what? Oh, I bet, frankly, our current administration, I bet some of the Democrats right now are probably like, we should probably get a peace deal or something. Like, they're probably going to work something up real fucking quick. Give it like a few weeks, we'll probably hear something about that. Shit you not. We're probably going to hear about some more things about some peace talks, some last second shit. I don't blame them. Well, that's what I'm saying. Either they get some peace talks going, or they throw a Hail Mary and somehow win that war quick. Because frankly, they haven't been doing good lately. Like, when they invaded in Kursk, like, the very little they were able to acquire, they're now, losing that ground. I mean, it's like Russia still has at least a pretty good stronghold on the, territories that they have been holding. I mean, it hasn't just really been that great. Read my last comment. It's going to be in his 80s after next year. Oh my god, dude. All right, a conservative Christian news site is funny. For once, wait, hold on. The Battle of Bees, pretty funny thing. Frustrated Democrats to consider letting voters pick the presidential candidate next time. Oh my god, wow. The Babylon Bee is actually legit funny. Because that actually gave me a laugh. Oh my god, that was a genuine laugh. Damn, all right, Babylon Bee. Okay, all right, okay. I see you. Man, god damn it, Babylon Bee and some of these other maggot shows, they're gonna be gloating for a while. We'll just have to, unfortunately, just kind of suck it up. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, it's like, god damn it. Not that I really get that, but like, they're gonna be like, haha, you're bitchless, and I'll be like, I wasn't really, like, you don't have to look at me. It's like, god, never think coming of my shit. I love doing that, to be honest. Every time there are some maggot chats that'll pop in here and want to, like, pop off a little, I always love bursting that bubble. I'm just like, you really fucking think that I'm just like, mommy milkers over here? Because I already knew that Oregon was a blue lock state. Like, that, like, whatever the fuck, when it came to happening last night, that literally would never have made a difference if I did or didn't vote for or sat it out. It literally would not have mattered outside maybe putting one extra singular vote on her popular vote count, which even then that means fuck all. I even did the numbers. Like I looked up like every other candidate that was like that every state had to vote for and shit. Like you had Chase Oliver, RFK for some reason still, and Jill Stein. Like all of them had about 0.4%. If you added all that together, it still wouldn't even be remotely close to getting like even near a split with the popular vote. Just not even remotely close. And that would have done nothing when it comes to electoral college. I mean, it's the same shit that happened in 2016 because a lot of the Hillary Clintonite, libs and shit back then were all like, "You Jill Stein voters, you fucking Green Party Bernie Browns," and it's like, and if you did all the math, it literally wouldn't have mattered. And she won a popular vote anyway. So if we didn't have an electoral college, she would have won based off of that. I mean, so it's like this idea that like, oh, somehow like third parties or some shit have like the most insane power during election days, but literally everything before then, they're just like, oh, well, it's just like, it doesn't mean anything. Oh, election day? Oh, doing that basically just puts it for the other guy, even though it literally has no fucking way to change anything of the outcome at all. It's like, give me a break. I'm gonna make it even more money now. Oh, dude, they're gonna be ranking in fucking big. Oh, dude, you know that shit with like, Tim Pool and this DOJ thing with them taking literal Russian money and stuff? Oh my god, that's gonna get dropped so quick. Fuck, dude. Man. It really truly is like a Cirque Soleil now. What was it that George Carlin said? America's got the front row seat to the freak show. Yeah, we kind of got the front row seats, to the freak show. That's for sure. Maybe I should have gotten the row a few rows back instead. Maybe being in the front row was kind of a bad idea. I know Ukraine's pretty nationalistic. I mean, they literally have statues of Stefan Bandera. So I mean. Like, yeah, I'm not. It's like when it comes to like culturally, like their politics and their like views about nationalism and stuff, they're very fucking nationalistic and very kind of right leaning. I mean, I'm not saying they're literal fucking Nazis and shit. Obviously, that'd be stupid. There are some that are there, but it's just like, I mean, they got like a nationalistic streak in them. I mean, granted, honestly, a lot of Eastern European countries do. I mean, like Poland does. A lot of the Balkan countries do. I mean, it's just one of those things where it's just like not really exactly unique. Because Russia being another Eastern European / Asian country, because they're both continents, like, I mean, they're really fucking nationalistic, so it's. I mean, it's just kind of like, a regional thing that's just like, all these countries just, bolster up and shit, even regionally. Like, because you have like Chechnya, or Chechnya, shit, where it's like, you got like the Chechens who are pretty fucking nationalistic on their own right too, while still being a state within Russia. So when you're born, you get a ticket to the freak show, and you're born in America, you get a front row seat. Yep. Exactly. We all got a front row seat. Rip, why did you and your parents upgrade your seats that were way back there? Why did you all upgrade to the front row seats? Y'all, like, there's an alternate universe where your parents stayed in Europe or some shit, and you're just like a Euro boy, and, like, you're just doing your thing out there, and you don't have to worry about a goddamn fucking thing that we have to here. It's like, you son of a bitch. Well, man, I mean, like, it's like there's an alternate multiverse timeline where it's like, you basically have the equivalent of like our friend group, but just Europeans just out there. Me and my grandparents. Your grandparents? I thought it was your parents. Okay, well, grandparents. Yeah, I thought. Well, okay, maybe I misheard from like either like Logan or someone else, telling me the story about it. But yeah, your grandparents. But yeah, it's just like, man. Because, dude, no matter what multiverse I come from, I'm, stuck here because both sides of my fucking family legit, like, like, at least I know from my mom's side goes really far back. I don't know if it was like even like, during the colonies era, but on my dad's side, I know for a fact comes from, like, during the times in the colonies. Not all the way back in like the late Mayflower or whatever, but at least during like when the colonies were established around like this, like late 1600s about. I think my first ancestor on my dad's side came here to America in like 1640 something or 1650 something. And then, been here since. So at least that's my dad's side. I know my mom's side, their family goes pretty far fucking back. I don't know all of the details, but it's all like south. So there's a chance that on my mom's side, I probably got some Confederate sons of bitches. But also on my dad's side, I got some Union soldiers too. And dude, those Union like lieutenant officer, like infantry, fucking uniforms, immaculate drip, impeccable drip. No, my parents don't have dual citizenship. If they did, I would have gotten it also. So a sticker also have to fight the feds of the Tricac down in Oregon. Okay, I get you. So I kind of thought, so I must have like, misthought it or something. So parents want to move to Europe. I'm doubtful the prospects in the EU is going anti-immigrant. Yeah, and considering what's going on in America now, in the next couple of years, I'm pretty sure they're not going to want any Americans. They're going to be like, no. Like Canada and Mexico do, if you fucks. You can visit, but you're not living here. Fuck you. Australia's nice. But that's like immensely, insanely more expensive. Like ridiculously more expensive. Russia all the way. Good for you, sir. Good for you. I'm American. I don't really give enough of a fuck. Besides that, they're like a autocratic, fascistic superpower, just like America is and China is. So fuck all three. With a fat, one wide. Fuck. YouTube just literally went like it crashed. Just fuck. YouTube just literally went like it crashed. Just out of nowhere. Okay. Thanks, YouTube, for really being nice. Thank you. Good one. Thank you, YouTube. Thank you. Good one. Thank you, YouTube. Thank you for being a very efficient app. And it seems like it's almost probably maybe not giving problems. It's in Australia really hard to immigrate to. Well, yeah, and plus it's like really the far fuck away. Like it's like, doesn't it cost like $3,000 just to fly there? Like, I mean, just because it's like not just across a hemisphere, but across an ocean. I mean, like that shit is fucking far. I mean, I don't even think Qantas has flights that go to Portland. We would have to take a layover in Honolulu and then take one there, or like maybe San Fran or LA or some shit. Because I know Qantas goes out of LA. I've been there a couple times and I've seen the A380s, those double-decker Airbuses. Those things are fucking huge. When you see those in person, you're just like, whoa. You're like, those things are ginormous. Though low key, if I were to find out I was flying on one of those, I would actually be like, yo, I kind of want to be on like maybe not full on business or first class, but if they have like a comfort class on the double deck and you kind of have your own thing, low key though. I would probably just flex just for that alone, just because I can have my own spot and be like, nice. Oh, there's some lobster. Oh my goodness, nice. Or some shit. That'd be cool. But I'm a brokey. You know, what's the charge on my phone anyway, speaking of? Because I hate this angle. Ah, it's only at 36%. All right, whatever. Doesn't even cost that much. Just check PDX to Sydney, $927. So there is a direct flight, you know, with Qantas, you know, to. Well, you just blew my fucking mind. Okay. Well, I'm an idiot. Just take everything back that I just said. Taking all that back. All right. Well, hey, you know, I'm genuinely kind of surprised. I did not know that. I thought it would cost way more than that. That's weirdly cheaper than going to Europe. Hey, Rip, trip to Australia during the summertime because it'll be wintertime down there and it'll be cold. You got to think about that. Direct flight, 20 hours, 13. 20. Okay, see, that's why I would flex and want to spend more money on some comfort class shit or something like that, because there's no way I'm sitting in a brokey fucking seat like this the entire fucking time. No. For 20 hours? Hell no. I'm getting comfort class or something. I'm upgrading that bitch. I want to be able to stretch out and have my thing, be like, yeah. So, like, fuck that, dude. I don't understand why people are suddenly acting like Trump is a pillar of competency. That must have seemed last time he was shocked he even became president. Now he has a plan. Okay, I can sort of agree with that. But, like, my second-year office president would be able to pretty handily find their footing. And also, like, if he was kind of thinking, whatever, I'm probably not going to make it, that kind of makes me think, would he even, like, would a Jan 6 situation, let's say Kamala were to win, like, would that even happen? Because, I mean, obviously it just feels a little tepid, and a lot of people were just like, I voted for her just so they can see MAGA chuds mauled. And honestly, I don't think they would have. You would get people bitching and moaning, but that's all it would really be, just bitching and moaning. So it's like, would they even have done anything? For presidents, usually get more done in the second term, but Obama had majority. It did fuck office, so do you have a sincere demand to think so if it wants to spot? It's only going to be a huge problem. I mean, that's kind of how I feel about it. It's more about his supporters, but even then, I'm kind of feeling a little like maybe we don't necessarily got to worry about that as much as I thought. Maybe, hopefully, you know, I don't know. But, you know, and the other part is just a bunch of the yes men that happen to, like, you know, be around him. It'd just be the administration. And at that point, which, like Biden, would Trump really actually generally be in charge? Because there's already kind of infighting on potentially kind of filling the power vacuum. Because I think a lot of people around him know that he's not necessarily going to be around for much longer. And probably, you know, guessing if he's even going to survive the term. But either way, they know there's going to be a power vacuum at the end of the 4 years, you know, whether they like it or not. So and there's been like slowly but surely a bubbling up of infighting that's been happening, even within like the few weeks leading up to the shit, you know, to where I don't really necessarily think that they're going to like be able to get much done if they're like kind of backstabbing each other to try to get like the loyalty of Trump and be like the heirs of the next MAGA, you know, movement or whatever. So I don't know. Like, I think they're going to be too distracted with each other. But I could be wrong, but I mean, I don't know. I'm not feeling as, like, you know, I don't know, like freaked out about it. I still feel like, fuck, this shit and this is horrible. But whatever. I mean, gotta go with this now. That's just kind of how I still feel that way. But I'm not as, like, panicky as like some of my buddies are, because I, you know, before I went to bed, you know, early in this afternoon, to be fucking frank, because, you know, none of us could sleep. You know, I you know, sent my friend Tyler, was just like, hey, just want to make sure you're all right and blah blah blah. It's kind of, you know, sent him a few of my general thoughts, and he's like, hey, thanks for checking up, and yeah, I just feel like it needs some reinsurance, and you know, that kind of helped a little, thanks, you know. So I think he's kind of tempered a little bit, but man, I worry about that boy sometimes, because holy shit. yesterday, like, he was freaking the fuck out. Like, it's like, I was just like, Jesus Christ, I'm kind of freaking out for him just because I'm worried about him. I don't want him doing something, rash. I don't want him doing something crazy. Speaking of voting against Mario, leftist liberals like Achille, Jake, and Vosh, y'all can finally shut fuck up and bed the lesser two evils bullshit. Just fuck Christ, it doesn't convince anyone. Dude, Achille, Jake, maybe. Vosh, give it 4 years. You know that motherfucker's gonna start saying that shit again. You know Vosh is gonna start going back on the, look, I know politician X is better than, way worse, ultimately, than politician Y over here, my dude. But have you considered lesser of two evils, my guy? You know it's gonna happen. He's gonna do it. You know he will. It's not like a close race going in. You have to steel yourself for either outcome. I don't think any of them really were. I mean, my friend Logan, Stefan, they were a little bit, but they still were feeling a little emotionally freaked out. I was actually kind of shocked when my friend Rip City, the other night was saying, it's like, I'm generally fucking depressed. I was like, I've never heard that out of you before, bro. It's like, whoa. It's like, damn. That's how you know it fucking hit him. He just, can, he's just not like someone who has full-on outbursts. At least not like, so I wasn't that hopeful, if I'm honest. You've kind of heard how I was feeling leading up to the election. I was just like, hey, option A, option B. I'm going to have to, feel one way or the other. We'll just see, what happens. And I kind of was hedging the idea that, honestly, it's going to come up to Pennsylvania or bust. And that's what happens. I even was telling my friends about it. And even my friend Logan was like, no, there's still kind of a path, if she loses Pennsylvania. And I straight up told her, it's just like, no, dude, you don't get it. No. And what do you know? I was right. With necessity with dumbasses. Well, that's kind of why I'm doing this right now, because I'm kind of like, just giving my thoughts out and just like kind of, I guess, the what now kind of talk, so to speak, you know what I mean? Because, like, obviously, it's okay to, feel like the ways that people are feeling right now. Some people I think need to really chill the fuck out, like my friend Tyler. You know what I mean? Like, there's some people that need to really probably chill the fuck out. But I was even telling my friend Logan before we left earlier, like, I was saying, hey, man, like, if maybe I'm misserved about some things I was saying, because he thought I was just kind of like being dismissive almost, being like, well, it's like, you're saying it's just going to be fine when it really ain't. But I was like, that's not really what I'm saying. And what I'm saying is that, we'll all be here to pick each other up. We still got each other. We're in Oregon. Us West Coast motherfuckers are not exactly, going to really take this without a fight, so to speak. You know what I mean? Like, because Oregon Day in 2020, and that was, leading up, to the election, with Biden and shit. And even then, afterwards, like, there's still a little bit of shit that, like, before it teetered off, during 2021. So, it's one of those things where it's just like, out here, we're a little cut from, different cloth, in comparison to the rest of the country. And even then, there's a lot of places in this country that, got a very similar fight in them, so to speak. It's not like the end of the world. The country ain't going to collapse and burn. And camps aren't going to fucking, like, prop up and shit. Like, I still believe that the camps are not going to be a fucking thing. People could chill the fuck out about that, but yeah, shit's going to be rough. Shit's going to be fucked for a little bit. And even afterwards, even after these 4 years, when it comes to, like, the next, 4 years after that, it's just going to be rough because now we got to pick up the fucking scraps. You know what I mean? The shit that got, like, broken down. It's surrounded by a general like my community. That should not be concerning. Now, if you're out in the sticks, I might worry. The problem is that, out in the sticks, they're right next to me, basically. And back in 2020, and I vividly remember this, those motherfuckers loved coming down here with their Trump flags and shit, waving that around. And annoying the fuck out of people around here, too. Even like, you know, kind of like conservative Republican-leaning people, like, would be like, come on, like, we get it, you support these people and stuff like that, but get out of here. Which actually, yo, Rip, you would love this information. Mornax too, you would love this shit. You know Joey Gibson? You want to know what I found out? You want to know some wild shit that I found out? So the Wichita pub that I go down to for playing pool and stuff, Joey Gibson and the Proud Boys used to go there for meetings. And then when the bartenders down there, you know, all found out about that, and the owner of the business found out about that, they banned them immediately and kicked them out, because the next time they came in and they were told they're kicked out, they tried to start shit and start a fight. And try to, you know, like say, well, this is America, blah, blah. You know, this is typical Republican bullshit. It's good for a show. Yeah, dude, when I found out about that, because I told them, it's like, man, I've seen these people and I kind of scruffed up with some of these motherfuckers before. I told them my story about, like, back in 2020 and stuff when I was in that shit. And they were like, good on you, blah, 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 blah. I didn't realize they were left-leaning. Well, what one of the bar owners said said, like, we're, you know, we like to at least have a safe space for everybody, and we try to avoid politics, period. We don't care if people talk about and this and that and or whatever the fuck, but if, you know, if we find out you're a part of, like, some group and you're using this place for a meeting to make it your hub or some shit, we're not going to be keen about that. It seems like they have just a general rule about that, so to speak. Like, you know, if there's, you know, if, like, you know, Black Bloc, you know, Antifa decided, like, you know, roll up and do their meetings over there, they probably wouldn't be happy about that either. You know, though granted, I'm sure they would be a little more respectful about it, be like, all right, fine, we'll just go somewhere else. You know, but these are Proud Boys we're talking about, you know. And when I found out about that, I was kind of shocked. I was like, and honestly, thinking about it, back in 2020, I bet that's where they were. That's why I saw all those MAGA flags and all this other shit, you know, probably back then, was because they were using that spot as a little hub. Missouri went left. Yeah, and also, well, you want to know what also happened in Missouri? Electorally, it went to Trump. They voted Trump and then passed abortion rights and increased the minimum wage and workers' rights. I'm telling you, not every fucking voter's a dumbass. Some of them are just jaded with the Democratic Party because they ain't, you know, absolutely fucking trying to do shit like that. Because evidently, whatever the Missouri legislator and all that type of shit, you know, is going on, you know, they fucking, you know, like, they want it. Obviously, people want that shit. If it's on the ballot and it's something that people, you know, can confidently know that they're going to get that shit when they elect it, whether a person or as a measure or an amendment or whatever the fuck, people usually overwhelmingly vote for it. And the ban ranked choice voting. I love how they didn't do what we were trying to do and be like, do we want to try it? Nah. They're like, I'm gonna just ban this shit. Yeah. See, like, people can be stupid, but people aren't exactly that dumb. But it's selective stupidity. There's a lot of selective stupidity that happens. DC adopted ranked choice voting. DC might actually be way better for that. Oh my god. That's nice. That's actually good. Fuck yeah. Oh, it means we're rejected pretty spectacularly. Yeah, this was not really a good election for leftist policies, honestly. Though, hey, Measure 119 passed. Did it? I want to confirm that. It's pretty sure. Please, like, reaffirm that. I'm not, like, just mistaken, right? Because I'm pretty sure that passed. Because if so, then, hey, then fuck yeah, dude. At least, you know, unions got somewhat of a win. Measure 119 passed. Yay, unions got a win. See? At least there's something. There's several linings here and there. Not as many, I think, as people were hoping for, but shit, dude. At least there's just a few some. There's a little some. There's a few. I'm actually happy about this. No more bipolar meds for Venom. Venom could be his authentic self. That's... Dude, it's good to have your medications, bro. And also, like, when it comes to, like, the ACA, like, a lot of that also goes down to the statewide thing. If Trump were to do that, Oregon wouldn't be impacted at all. I mean, New Mexico might be the same way, but I'm not too sure, what their, things are about that. Proud of neighbor north. West Coast, baby. Oregon codified pre-existing condition protections. Yeah, at least that's for Oregon. New Mexico's flush with cash for weed. They just don't know how to use it. Well, maybe they should budget into some stuff like, healthcare and stuff like that. That'd probably be a good idea. New Mexico has a Democratic majority. They might also. Well, yeah, honestly, I think at least statewide, a lot, there's going to be a lot of different, like, Democrats, governorships. I think might honestly start, kind of swinging their weight around a little bit. Because in the scenario that, we get a worst case scenario with a Trump administration, they're going to want to, like, make sure that they at least have something, statewide for people. New Mexico almost voted red this year. A lot of states did. Outside of, like, the usual, like, kind of, no shit kind of states like, New York, Maine, Oregon, Washington, California, yada yada. Like, outside of the usual, I mean, a lot of states really kind of swung around. Pennsylvania did. Pennsylvania's been a major fucking swing state lately, and a lot of elections have been, hedged on Pennsylvania going one way or the other. It didn't really used to be that way with Pennsylvania outside the last, like, 4 or something cycles. I also realized I left my grinder at my room, so I'm going to grab that really quick. Be right back. Ooh. Damn it, dog. You squishy little thing. Jelly bean. Lazy jelly bean, oh my god, those innocent little eyes, they're so cute. Jeez, I gotta squeeze through. Damn. Damn. I'm glad that I also picked this up because I gotta show you some beauty. I gotta show you some beautiful stuff. Low key though. Because we got some cool shit. Took some epic pics of Portland and shit, and with the boys. From what I could find, New Mexico already codified the protections also. So yeah, I mean, so you'll be fine. Like, if anything happens to the Affordable Care Act, New Mexico, will still have it codified, so nothing would happen. Protections for the Affordable Care Act. So if anything were to happen, you would be fine. Jump ahead. Oh, wait, hold on. I missed this too. I was thinking Harris was going to lose Virginia, but she won it. Oh, I guess it didn't really do much, unfortunately, because she's convinced Trump will save America. Wait, who? How? I tell you why I'm not worried. Well, I am, but not for this Trump shit. But either party could do anything to rock the corporate boat. Don't skip past your looking for yourself because the industry don't like that. By the same token, Trump can't be like gay marriage is banned. Gets a bit large sum of cash on the wedding and closing industry. Never mind, folks. The gays are great. Never mind, folks. The gays are great. Trump at Congress when he won the first time. Did Jack squat done? Yeah. See, that's kind of what I mean. You know, it's just like when it comes to like, you know, Trump in his first term, outside of the usual Republican shit, like tax breaks, you know, kind of being a warmonger fuck. Not really as much as other Republicans. I mean, I'll grant that, I suppose, outside of like the Moab and all this other shit. I mean, you know, he's at least foreign policy-wise, weirdly, is actually kind of weirdly mixed, if that makes sense. Like, he threatened fire, fury, and all this other crazy shit, but at the same time, it's like he didn't really do anything outside of a Moab and a few other things, you know, like, not really much. I mean, me neither, but I really should go. It's been forever. I've had an open browser tab to make an appointment for months. Damn. I need to do the same thing myself, to be honest. Salkamal's concession speech, well, preview of it. Drugs. I'm not even being hyperbolic either. Oh my god. Oh, I bet she is fucking zonked out, dude. Oh, I cannot wait to see that. I cannot wait to see that. Oh my god. Dude, that would be... Dude. You want to see this beautiful fucking city, though, low-key, though? Look at that. Look at that shit. Fucking beautiful, bro. Look at that shit. Just party. Just beautiful shit. Oh. Also got a pic of the boys. Had to make sure the boys are in it. Dude, that, you cannot tell me that would be like an album cover or some shit, bro. Like, that right there is like an album cover, bro. Like, straight up. You cannot deny that. Ah, I didn't even notice this. Look at Rip City. Look at him with his little thumbs. I didn't even notice that. Dude, okay, that is just straight up album cover shit, dude. Wait, why does it keep flipping around, too? Can we stop doing that? Yeah, stop the rotation shit. That's dope. Yeah, I was on the ground. I went, like, photography status. I went on the ground. I was like... I just, like, did my thing real quick, and I was like, hell yeah, dude. This is another good one because of, like, how Logan is. He's just like, oh. It's just, like, looking up to the heavens. It's like, I bestow thee to the heavens and give us protections from this shit of fascism. And that's what happened after we wrapped it up last night. We ended, this is what we all were having together, you know, and all that shit. And I found this dope, awesome, like what looks kind of like indigenous looking like spray paint and shit. I was like, yo, I'm taking a pic of that because it looks badass. Because that is badass. You cannot tell me that's badass. Hella dope, dude. They got like one more good little like picture of the skyline with those clouds because it also kind of looks like smoke, but it's not. It's just clouds, but just makes the city look so fucking dope. I need to like, you know, edit some of these and just like a little extra. And I guess I also decided to take a picture. This after the fucking shit that I had with my phone. I don't know why I did this, but it made for a really epic photo though. That also kind of looks like, you know, an album cover too in its own way. Why I did that, I don't know. You could tell that we were up for a while. The sun is starting to rise. It's like shit. I recorded a video too. What the fuck? A 0-second video apparently. Well, damn. Okay. Wow. Damn. What bridge are you under? The Hawthorne? Yeah, we're near the Hawthorne. But dude, look at that. Dude, look at the dawn, bro. The dawn of a new era right there, bro. That right there, that sun right there is literally the dawn of a new era. It's like, damn, bro. Looking at that sunrise was it meant a little something different that day or that morning. It's like, shit. Sunrise means a little something different now. But man, you know, honestly, it was kind of good though, because we all needed to, like, you know, reassure ourselves a little bit, and also me be partial damage control for my friends, because I was just like, damn, some of them need my assistance. Some of them need to be assured. I must assure them. And then when I get the fuck down there eventually, I'm doing the same thing for your ass, bitch. If you're even still in here. I'm just saying, though. If not, then fuck you. Still saying it, though. Doing the same shit to him when I get my ass down there. Motherfucker. I don't want to hear about this nonsense. Losing your shit. And all this other bullshit. No. As I breathe as a friend and a brother of him, I shall not allow it. No. Let's make any conspiracy brain for 6. It's starting to think Dems fumbled this on purpose because Kamal conceded weirdly earlier, even though I've seen numerous sites saying votes counting could take days. Tell me else, because if Trump had lost and been held accountable for his crimes, then it would have been like, oh shit, this sets the precedent for us and held accountable for our corruption. Maybe Orange Man ain't so bad after all. I don't know. My guess is it's just because, like, there wasn't really much of a mathematical way for, or just really any way after Pennsylvania was called for Kamal to win. So, I mean, that's what I would think, honestly. I think it was just because of that, and they just knew it. Unless they want to say, it's rigged, you know, and do like a Jan 6 of their own. I mean, unless they wanted to do some shit like that, I mean, I really doubt that, you know, they were, I don't know. I don't know. You know, honestly, I don't know what the fuck is up with, you know, because, like, on one hand, I do think they fumbled the ball. On the other hand, I also kind of think, you know, they were probably sabotaged, because it's also known that, you know, Netanyahu and Trump were colluding a little bit, you know, to sabotage the, you know, the Democratic campaign and boost, you know, Trump's, you know, means and shit, you know, so Netanyahu could pretty much have full carte blanche. I don't know. Running her to begin with. Well, with that, it's because she's a VP. That's it. Like, she's vice president, you know, so at that point, it just kind of makes sense, you know, to just kind of let her fill the role. Though, frankly, it's still bullshit, because, like, unless, you know, the president full-on stepped down and wasn't president anymore, that could have gone to anybody. Like, there wasn't even a primary. I mean, at all. Because realistically, you would think it would go to the second person that, you know, got the most votes, which I guess technically would be Marianne Williamson, and that's probably why. But also, she's been kind of a little, like, cuckoo lately. After she dropped out and all that shit, she kind of went a little extra. And I'm just like, I don't know. She's not, like, hanging out with Putin and shit like Jill Stein was or whatever. So it's like, I mean, you're not horrible, but oh my God, what is going on here? It's like, Crystal Mommy, you need to, you know, realign your crystal chakras. No one's going Jan 6 for fucking Kamala. Oh, of course not. If anything, people are, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if the administration in D.C. is, you know, prepping for, like, just leftists and progressives being pissed off and protesting. Because, like, a lot of leftists and progressives, like, a lot of them, you know, voted for Kamala. Like, I mean, you know, so I'm also wondering, it's like, you know, we didn't really get into this quite yet. Because, like, what are, like, some of the factors as to why Kamala lost here? Outside of the fact that they're fickle and shit, because we already went off about that. So what are some other factors here? Because there obviously, you know, there's a lot of blame going around here. And frankly, I mean, ultimately, there is, I think, one root to the blame, which we already addressed. But, like, what are other factors and really just, frankly, symptoms of what this was? One of them is the fact of, like, you know, of money and power, obviously. Like, the status quo, you know, prevails more often than not. So anyone that is willing to jeopardize that is immediately going to be, profiled as too radical, too extreme. You're changing too much, and we can't allow that. And when it comes to, other things, when Israel and Palestine, like he even just said it, like no matter who, which candidate loses, Israel wins. Like, to me, and that actually plays into this other factor. It's been known that Netanyahu and Trump have been having meetings, and Bibi was in Mar-a-Lago a couple times having some talks with them. And a lot of that is what people speculate is that he was helping Trump, with his campaign to sabotage Kamala. Because, that basically will give, Israel full carte blanche to do literally whatever the fuck they want instead of slow burning things. Because I was talking about that the other night when I was streaming, and that makes sense. And honestly, my little conspiracy brain says is that Netanyahu had a major hand in Israeli government / Mossad, or Netanyahu himself, probably directly, had a role, and a touch into this campaign on how, shit goes down. State down balance shit, probably don't give a fuck. AIPAC will fund whoever, and they don't care. But, when it came down to this shit, AIPAC's going to be way more invested in make sure Trump got through. And that's essentially is what literally happened. That's my fucking thing. It's that's a major role to it. I think not as much, but there is a degree of, I think, some racism and misogyny, especially considering, xenophobia and this racism against Palestinians and brown people, especially Arabs, and when it comes to immigration, that's been ramped up even on the Democratic side of things. So that honestly probably does play a role as well. And, it's not to say that it's a fault of Kamala's part. I just think that she just didn't, show anything to say that, hey, let me push, the party left instead of, ratcheting it to the right, hanging out people like Liz Cheney and shit, which would have forced those fucking positions. We live in a late-stage capitalist society. Hello, I'm sorry, but it's just the fact that we need to for food is more immediate, and getting an abortion, being able to say marriage. I guess sex, but these are choices Americans have to make, sadly. Yeah, and it's fucked. And that's why, honestly, there needs to be a detachment from the party system. And, I've said it before, I kind of beat it like a dead horse, but labor politics. I remember what I was saying earlier, it's I live in a community where it's mostly like-minded, and I don't really have to worry about that shit as much, luckily. And, regardless of how they make their choices politically or otherwise or whatever, that's fine. But, there needs to be at least a major focus when it comes to labor politics. And people need to kind of make that the focus, because that's what, directly impacts your fucking wallet, to make sure you got a little cheese on your table and, being able to pay the bills and maybe afford some healthcare and shit with some benefits, and have an affordable pension plan to be able to have retirement. Major fucking issues that people care about. Okay, Nepal, right, gone. Boom. Right on economics, yeah. Notice that a lot of my overarching critique, especially with Democrats, is the fact that they barely ran on that shit. They did token gestures, mostly when Biden was running, weirdly enough. And I also have Tim Walz. That was, I'll say this right now. Tim Walz is literally the only good thing about Kamala, frankly. That was, the one reason why, for a while, I was legit kind of undecided about maybe voting for her or not. Because, even despite being a blue law state, because, I do like Tim Walz. And I've even said it for months, when that happens. I'd rather he be president, she just stay as a VP. Because it's not like she couldn't run in 2028. And I think, she was a VP, for a competent president like Tim Walz, and was allowed to be how he was as governor as a president. That would be some power boss fucking duo shit right there. And that would give an opportunity for Kamala to actually have an administrative background to say, hey, yeah, I was part of Biden administration to kind of help things along a little bit. I, help try to get this and that, even if they're fucking lies, when it comes to railroad strike or whatever. Even if she lies about some certain shit, whatever. But then she can use that to like pivot to be like, well, this is why, with Tim Walz, I, stayed as a vice president and, picked him to, and with the rest of the party, to have him as a nominee due to his success as a governor and blah, blah, blah. Like, because I guarantee you that guy probably, even let's say Trump still won, would have won the popular vote and it would have been way, way closer. Like, dead ass. Like, and if they just let him be a bulldog, basically, in the China shop, instead of having, the Trump bull, basically, it's like, I mean, if we had like, the bulldog Walz, basically, I on that ass think it would be a way better outcome. Even let's say if Trump still won, it would be way fucking closer. And honestly, we probably still want to know what the fucking results are yet if that was the case. It'll be still speculating on Pennsylvania, maybe Minnesota or some other shit. Well, maybe Minnesota will probably be locked at that point. The fact that damn near went red too and shit, it's like even on the virtue of Tim Walz as vice president, like Minnesota, like was like, it's like you would think that would have at least been a lock just on that alone. Because even if like, you have someone from a home state that's a vice president, usually states like that tend to, lock with, whoever is running. Like, Vance of Ohio, that happens, and then like I guess ultimately it happened with, Minnesota. I'm pretty sure. I mean, not that it fucking matters anymore at this point, but still, it's just like, I mean, the fact that shit was like a toss up was a little fucking insane. I figured that would have at least been locked. California, obviously. I mean, Kamal's from California, so that just makes sense. And California was going to go blue anyway, regardless of that. So we already knew that. I mean, that factor doesn't play a role, with her. But with Tim Walz, it should have. But even then, it didn't. And honestly, in hindsight, now I can see why when me and my friends kind of noticed that there wasn't really a lot of like Kamala Harris, Tim Walz signs. Now I see why. Because not a lot of people, even there, were very enthusiastic about it. I see a lot more political signs around here than I did out there. I saw like 3 or 4 of them. And one of my favorite ones was specifically a Tim Walz political sign that said "Balls to the Walls." And honestly, I was like, that's like the one sign I would have, like, because that's actually kind of a badass sign. But beyond that, like, there was barely anything. And considering how Minnesota ended up, resulting, throughout the day of the election, not a lot of people turned out. It wasn't very enthusiastic. Fuck, I didn't realize this song was going to be... I just now listened to that. I was like, oh, it's this song. And wow, how convenient when I stopped talking. That lyric popped up. You can vote for one fucking fool or another, huh? If it's talking about being elusive Warren versus Trump, who would you have voted? Would you have voted for? Assuming you want to do it right in a third party or anything like that. Hey, how she fucked over Bernie, but I could at least see it. Honestly, I would have voted for her. Funny enough, actually, since you brought it up, like my friend Stefan and I with Tyler, like while we were at St. Paul before we went to the concert, that when we were over there, we actually ended up talking about that. We ended up bringing, I forgot how it got brought up, but, that topic got brought up about, like her kind of, being a snake in the grass and fucking burning over. But it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, while being more of like a conservative progressive, I guess, if that makes sense, versus Bernie, like, like she did get way more progressive shit done as a politician, on a national level and on a federal level versus Bernie. And that's not a dog on Bernie, but it is one of those things where, at least when it comes to like the brass tacks, yeah, she is a little better on that front. But when it comes to like broader track records, I think Bernie's better, but it's just that, it's more localized in Vermont, like Birmingham, as a senator, stuff like that. Like, it's a little different in that case. Despite maybe him having a way longer track record. But I mean, it's one of those things where, like, yeah, I probably would. I wouldn't necessarily be enthusiastic about it, I suppose. But I'd be like, all right. Honestly, I probably would, depending on who her Veep was. If she did like some Hillary shit and had like some just like Tim Kaine-esque fucking nobody dork, for a Veep, I would not. I'd probably start really like, But if it's like a Tim Walz like Veep, I'd be like, yep, sure. Wouldn't be enthusiastic outright, but I'd be enthusiastic enough in the sense of like, all right, we can at least probably get some results of actually some meaningful stuff here. I mean, I was kind of like at least a little bit of bet I was hedging that some people would take a little bit, at least when it came to my assumption about how like the electorate would go with, because of Tim Walz being kind of a blue collar guy. But honestly, a lot of that was because he did not perform well in the vice president debate, and also, I mean, they kind of neutered him a little bit. They kind of forced him to kind of temper himself and kind of be like, be reasonable, don't call Republicans weird and like, Vance a couch humper and blah, blah, blah. Be nice and cordial and civil. Decorum. And that harms him. Like, it, maybe for someone like Biden, that's one thing. But if it's like fucking Tim Walz or some shit, that would hurt him. And it did. He already knows that he's not great at debates and shit like that. But if you just, let him be off the leash and just let him do what he wants, he'd be a lot more natural at it. And I think there would be a charm to that where people would find him more appealing. I mean, just dead ass. I mean, because I'm not going to lie, dude. Vance did look better in the vice president debate. He just did. He said more stupid bullshit and was, fucking insane because he's a right-wing fuckball. But, I mean, when it comes to performance, he has better stage performance than Walz does. And they neutered Walz to be more friendly and like, Tim Walz would more agree more with, Vance would be like, when it comes to our administration, I would gladly be able to help work with you and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, what the fuck? Why are you doing that? It's because he got neutered for that shit. Because not even like a few months leading up to that shit, it's like he was calling the Republicans weird and a bunch of creeps and how they want to like spy in your bedroom and all this other bullshit, which is true. That was like the one of the few times where like the Kamala Walz campaign was actually doing good. When they kind of went a little balls to the wall. But oh no, the DNC and the Clintonite, fucking Democratic Party wants to fucking neuter her asses to fuck everything over. That's why I put the blame on them fundamentally and ultimately. Like, Democratic Party ain't worth saving. I've been saying that for a while, but man, it really is like, it needs to be a fucking like, something that needs to kind of be brought the hammer down. I don't want it to seem like a told you so thing, but because it kind of feels that way. Like, I feel that way for certain people. Like, I mean, here, obviously not. Like, it's not, to anyone here, but like, but there are like some people like Vosh, Actual Jake, Sandra Hall. There's a few motherfuckers out there where I'm just like, I fucking told you so. And you motherfuckers didn't want to listen to shit. Because I know people that have the same kind of views or maybe the same, opinions. But at least they're willing to hear my take and at least respect it and actually hear me out and talk. And I respect them back for that. I love that, actually. I love having a back and forth about it. Because maybe, I plant a little seed here, they plant a little seed there with me, and hey, I think that's more productive. But then you get motherfuckers, especially these comments, be like, yeah, let's do evil stuff, my dude. 98% Hitler is actually better than 99% Hitler, my guy. It's like, we both know yet. You have a big I told you so, go for it, just let it out, man. Well, it's not to anyone here. I mean, I feel like I feel like a dick, if I was doing that to people here. Honestly, I'll do it on Friday. When DFF does their episode, for Friday, I'm going to be like, to all the libs and all the people that want to complain about, like, third parties are not voting this and that. We lefties, like me and Paul, we all told you so. I'll do it there. And then I'll gloat about it then. And then I'll also finally fucking deal with this shit too, because, like, I mean, so as you can tell, there's just a lot of other bullshit where I just haven't even really thought about doing the transition yet. I'm just like, like, Dios mío. To say it to the people you want to. Well, yeah. Well, at least say this as just a general level, especially to, just, I guess, for post-stream sake. To all the libs out there. To all the libs, to all those DNC shills and all that shit. Fucking told you so. And I ain't the only one that told you so, but I'm one of the motherfuckers. I might be a small bean, a quiet bean, but you motherfuckers know you are. Like this. They apologize. Destiny Dick Riders. We fucking told you so. And even, gotta throw a little shit at Kyle too, man. I love my brother Kyle, but... And at least he is a mature person enough to understand, like, hey, I was wrong. But I still got to throw a little shame and be like, yo, Kyle. Told you. I mean, obviously, like, literally, I didn't, like, tell him, but... Dude, I watched his, in hindsight after the election, I caught up with his last Kyle and Corn podcast that they did with each other. Corn is like, yeah, no, I think Trump's going to win, bro. And they had a little back and forth about it. And honestly, I think here's my reason why. It's because I think Corn's a little bit more like in touch with like how just generally kind of people feel about things, because he's not a political guy. He only really is just on the virtue because of his friend Kyle. Like, I mean, whatever political stuff he kind of gets from him. And he's kind of developed a little from that, with his own politics and shit. Because I noticed like I've been watching those two talk with each other like since their first solo episode, and like I could tell over the years that there's been a very strong touch of like Kyle's politics, or at least just being a political wonk a little bit has rubbed off on Corn lately. Even doing the YouTube channels rubbed off on him and stuff for Corn's world. But I mean, he was they were having a back and forth about it, and I was kind of thinking in hindsight, I kind of wish I watched it before the election because I might have had different feelings, and because I kind of want to know how I would have felt, listening to that before. But I mean, hindsight, I'm just like, damn, he's right though. I mean, he fucking called it. It's like, damn. And Kyle's just like, nah, bro. It's like, come on, Kyle. It's like, dude, Kyle, like, you're on the crack, dude. You're cracked up on the mommy milk coconut copium, dude. The cocoa. All right, how do I blend copium and coconut? God damn it, they're so similar. I don't even think it would work. I'm not even going to try. But, the coconut copium, dude. It's cracked out on that coconut copium. And he fell out of the coconut tree. Did you just fall out of a coconut tree? My Kamala impression is nowhere near as good as my Trump impression. So I'm definitely kind of glad, weirdly, at least for just, comedic purposes, to be able to do a Trump impersonation for the next 4 years, because I'm going to enjoy that. You've got your freedoms, ladies and gentlemen, folks. You've got your freedoms. Let me just tell you, folks, it's a very tremendous day. Very beautiful, folks. Very beautiful day. Let me just tell you, the most beautiful days I've ever seen. Very beautiful days. Beautiful days. Cokium? That just sounds weird. Cokium? I see it, but it just, I don't know. Sounds weird. It sounds like a cocktail where you have like a cum shot in it or something. I don't know why, but it sounds like coconut cream vodka with like a cum shot and like, a little tequila in there mixed in with it or some shit. It just sounds like some weird ass shit, bro. I'm sorry. It just sounds weird because my first thought was like some weird ass like cocktail of some sort. And it's just like, bro, what? Just want to say that he's the only one who had, but if I have to see Jake or Vosh be like, you know what, everybody, it's become clear the less too evil argument doesn't hold water from now on. All my time, I will be dedicated to make sure Democrats fight for social economic policies. At least between the two. I'll say this, at least between the two of those guys, I think Jake would be the one more likely to. I was wondering why it stopped randomly and the music got very quiet. It connected to the earbud. How in the fuck did it connect to? Okay, whatever. Hold on, give me a sec, because that's bunk. That's bunk. I just have to do that, and maybe that. Oh wait. Oh, okay, there we go. There we go. I'm not even gonna question how that somehow. Whatever. Man, I'm gonna have to tune in the Vosh streams, in the next like day or two, just to see, like, or at least just a few of his videos, because I know in the next day or two he's gonna be uploading some videos. I know he did a stream earlier, I think today, so he might already have a video out, So I'll definitely have to see like what he's saying about this, because dude, at the beginning he was all kind of amped up because I was watching Onion Nuggets, and they were using him as like kind of like just kind of like a prong of like how people are feeling. At the beginning of the day, he was all kind of like, yeah, let's do it, guys, let's go. At the end of the night, he was really just blankly staring into the void. I was just like, damn, what the fuck? I was like, shit. And I know a part of that, he's sitting there thinking, how in the fuck am I going to spin this, so my audience does not, like, literally kill themselves and also fucking do all this other shit. It's just like, he was sitting there probably contemplating some shit. Because, dude, his chat, his fucking chat, and this is like the Vosh.gg chat, not even his YouTube chat, which I'm sure was the same way, they were fucking, like, talking about straight up, like, unaliving themselves and stuff. And I was just like, bro, dude, holy shit. I was just like, what in the fuck, bro? Like, I was actually kind of shocked, because it's like, because I was kind of gauging my own friends, and my friend Tyler, like I was saying from earlier, he was legit fucking freaking out. I mean, I don't want to spotlight it, or anything, but, like, there was a few times where he was legit like, Russia wasn't conscious. Why couldn't I? I wasn't asked to be born here. Why couldn't I be born in Iceland or Norway or some shit? Like, he was, like, popping off. And I was like, I'm sitting here like, dude, like, you need to, like, take a breather from this and just step away from this for a while. Like, legitimately, it's just not good for you, dude. And this is coming from a guy who absorbs himself in politics a lot, man. Like, because it's like, dude, I mean, if you let it consume you, like it did him, it all in like one burst, basically, like a pressure cooker tonight or last night, it's like, oh, it's like, man, you gotta take a step back. And I think he probably just should for a while, just in general. Like, pay attention to, like, some local stuff, look out with, your own folks and stuff, because he has a trans sister, on top of his other sister, like, when it comes to, like, her women's rights. But, hey, we all live in Oregon, so, I mean, like, you don't really have as much to worry about directly and indirectly. It's more about other people that probably feel the same as you that are in, like, the South, in these red states, or in a lot of these states that went red, like Pennsylvania and all this other shit. It's like, there's a lot of things, where people probably feel the way you do, in other places where it's really a lot more meritable. Like, you and your folks will be okay, more so than others. I mean, we're all still going to get fucked, a little bit. Cactus of no lube, no matter what, but, we're kind of down the line. Once that gigantic fucking thing reaches us on the human centipede of America, like, it ain't gonna be as bad. It won't be as gnarly, but it's still gonna be gnarly. But also, I just think shit's gonna be kind of deadlocked. I mean, like, it's a Republican Senate, and I think kind of like a barely, Republican House. I'll have to double check, but I'm pretty sure it's a Democratic House still. So shit's gonna be deadlocked there. And also, like, we got rid of Lori DeRaymer too, so Janelle Bynum's now my congresswoman. And with that, it's like, I mean, it makes Oregon a lot more secure as a Democratic state, but honestly, Janelle Bynum is literally just an empty suit. Just like how Lori DeRaymer was. Like, she was literally an empty suit, but for like the Republicans, and she barely lasted a term. She was just a placeholder, because Kurt Schrader fucked Jamie Nicholas Skinner back in 2020, and then the Democrats fucked her over again in the primaries. So we're probably got another placeholder now, and she probably ain't going anywhere anytime soon. She's going to be a female Kurt Schrader. I guarantee fucking to you, mark my words. I'm not exactly enthusiastic about her being my congresswoman, but at least it ain't, a fucking MAGA light. I'm not actually MAGA, but, at least it ain't that. And I think Craig Roberts, a cop that I found out, beat Tootie Smith, which, on one hand, but at the same time, hey, fuck Tootie Smith. She's gone. She's a corrupt piece of fucking shit. I hate her. She's horrible. She's kind of fucked over, the county votes and other shit. Like, she's not great. She's horrible. She's a corrupt fucking shitbag and a fucking wretched witch. It looks like a goblin. Like those witches for, Skyrim or something? She pretty much looks like that, but without, the crazy witch face, necessarily. Man, YouTube just ain't letting this message go through. Well, hey, I can see it for a Discord notification. I can still read it. YouTube just ain't letting this message get... Oh, I read that. Dude, the Schwett index never... Oh, dude, the Schwett index never fails. Dude, the Schwett index on Jank was insane. I'm gonna have to, rewatch that election coverage because low-key was kind of some good shit. Dude, honestly, I'm actually surprised the one who had the biggest meltdown was TJ. He literally was freaking the fuck out at the fact that everything was boring. And I don't blame him. He literally just exploded and had a meltdown. I thought Paul would have a little bit. Because I know how he is about people being like, well, come on, this, I'm trying to prod him or whatever. I thought it would have been that, but not really. No, it was TJ. I think anytime, Paul, amped himself up or whatever the fuck was just for performance factors. Beyond that, that, actually, Paul's kind of just vibing for the most part now that I remember. So now, hey, that's all I want to do to these people. I want to put my hands on their shoulders and be softly, hey, look at me. They're gazing in my eyes. And I slap him across the face to tell him to quit being fucking dumb. True. I'll say this much. I think Portland's going to have a lot of angsty punk shows in the next few years. I think a lot of the music scene around here is going to explode a little bit. And low-key, I kind of need to jump on that. Me and my buddies were always talking about jamming and making music, and you know what? After last night, it's you know what? This angst must be unleashed. I know my friend Tyler is definitely gonna make some songs and collaborate, with his bandmates with Atomic Terror. But with my own homeboys and with Tyler too, whenever he has spare time, I'd be like, yo, let's do some shit. Because at least want Tyler at least just be recording, guitarists, recording studio guitars at minimal. And down the line, I could eventually, find somebody, with some other people. Because I'm already somewhat connected with different people within the scene. I just, need to reach out and, find some people. So, a lot of love is finally started because there's something I like to call the Ignore solution, if you catch my drift. I catch your drift. And you know what? I might consider it, but shit is expensive, man. Yeah. Dude, why do you think I jumped on it when I did? Because, dude, here's another thing, too. Give it a little bit. Give it a little time. Because, dude, I know what you're talking about. And I'm just sitting here well, I need to stock up a little bit. And it's always around election time where there's a little price gouge going on. That includes with the pew pews and the ammo for it, with the freedom seeds. So give it a little bit. Eventually those prices will probably go down, and you might be able to find some deals. But just look around. You'll find something. Honestly, go to if you have them around, go to a Cabela's, because they usually also have surplus milsurp stuff that actually might be relatively cheap, and might be able to get a little something from that. It ain't like it used to, because for example, an SKS used to go for $200. Nowadays, the cheapest you could find is maybe $450. And 7.62 used to be cheap as shit, and now it's about the cheapest you could find, about 80 cents a round. So it's been a little rough. I follow a lot of these gun channels, and all of them bitch about this type of stuff. It's like, man, I remember my first rifle, and nowadays, the same thing goes for 3 times the price. It's like, what the fuck? And that's also, weirdly enough, a funny, cool thing about it is that they're investments. Especially for collectors, if you have let's say, you got 3 AR-15s and you don't really use one of them, that technically is an investment, and give it enough time, it's probably going to be, you could sell it probably twice the price that you bought it for. Dead ass. Some people kind of, when it comes to third-party markets, at least if they're doing it legally and properly, that's a legit business that some people do. They'll just buy a receiver, just kind of build it up a little bit, and before you know it, you got a $2,000 rifle, just based off of $500 worth of parts, at minimal. Tell you the truth, to make me nervous. Oh, I get it. Honestly, because I've upgraded my rifle so much, and my shotgun definitely needs some cleaning and stuff like that. There's definitely some things about where, sure, it does. And even for me, it could be it's I want to make sure this, it's all good. But usually it is. And as long as you're responsible and safe, and if you know what you're doing, and as soon as you know for a fact something's a little off, then check it. Because, here's a very common one that happens, and it's actually referred as an acronym. It's called a failure to receive, or a FTL or FTR, which basically means if you got your magazine, and obviously you got your freedom seeds in there, sometimes the bolt will kind of jab on a bullet, but it won't go all the way in. It would just so you can see it, and the bolt will obviously not go all the way back, and you will notice that. All you have to do is basically just kind of pull the bolt back a little bit and just kind of force it back in. And usually after that, you'll be fine. But sometimes you also got a FTE, a failure to eject. And that is something you really need to be careful about. Because sometimes the bolt won't catch on that bullet, and you have to make sure your mag is out. And also sometimes you'll have a bullet want to go in, but because of that failure to eject, now you have an empty cartridge in the barrel in the chamber. That's no bueno. That will be very fucking bad. It's something that, you wanted to pay a little more attention to. And that's partly why I got an AK, because it's very easy to handle, issues like that if they do happen to prop up. And sometimes they do, but they're very easy to adjust. All I have to do is just say, man, I gotta pull the bolt back, and usually that fixes the issue, whatever the fuck it is. And just pull the bolt back, kind of rack it a few times, maybe put a little extra gun oil in there, and a couple more racks to kind of get all lubricated. Put it back in, put it in a chamber, and keep firing. Works fine the rest of the time. So it just kind of depends. But it also, if it's something you're nervous about, there's very easy weapons out there that like a little pistol, you get a 22 or a 38 special or something like that, which things like that for a little pistol or sidearm, or a 9mm, those are really soft, not really intense recoil, type of calibers. 38 maybe a little bit, but depending on which firearm it is, and there's a lot that have very easy handling and stuff. It's just one of those things, just do your research about, kind of figure out what you think might be better handling. But also, you can go to gun ranges, and rent stuff out, because I know some places do that. Or, like I said, if you got like a Cabela's or like a Sportsman's or something like that, or whatever, then you can maybe ask them and be like, hey, is there like a place to where maybe I can, check some firearms out and, kind of get a feel about them, because, there's plenty of places out there where you can do that. I mean, you're in the South. I guarantee you there's a shitload of places out there if you look around enough. As long as you never mention anything about politics or whatever, like, they're not going to give a fuck. They're just going to be like, oh, hey, another person that wants to get into guns. Cool. They're not going to care at that point. If anything, you could probably blend in and be like, yeah, I'm just kind of worried about, like, crime and stuff like that. You can just kind of blend in and just kind of say some vague shit like that, and they'll be like, got you, my brother. Here, let me help you. Let me help you, son. Like, you can just literally say some vague shit like that. Because when I got my firearm, the guy just casually was asking, he's like, hey, you want to go, like, competition shooting or, like, hunting maybe in the future? And I was like, yeah, like, I've always liked AKs, kind of, like, want to collect memorabilia, including, like, historical firearms at some point. But, yeah, maybe eventually want to do some competition shooting and upgrade it over time and stuff like that. And he's like, all right on, man. Cool. He just, that was literally it. And he was like, all right, well, anyway, here, you just got to sign a few things here and just fill out stuff and, just kind of, check the things that, tells you to check up and blah, 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 Just kind of went through the process and that was it. Pretty much happened both times. And it's like, when it comes to at least a universal background check, that shit's so fucking easy. It's a little tedious because you have to fill out a bunch of bullshit, check up, certain check marks and all sort of stuff. But, I mean, once you get through with that, it usually takes about 24 hours, give or take, like, depending on if there's, like, a backlog. Both times I've gotten mine, there was never a backlog. It was just like, all right, we'll just, like, come back tomorrow and call up and we'll let you know if you passed or not. And both times, like, yep, you just go pick it up. It not a move for that wish. There we go. Plus, I'm a clumsy fuck, so I probably wouldn't end up. Nah. I mean, I could sometimes be a klutz, but, like, for me, like, I kind of get in a little bit of a different mindset when I'm, like, handling my shit. I'm a sober doper when it comes to that stuff. I'm like, nope. Keeping a straight mind with this one. Like, because, I mean, there's, like, because for me, I mean, it's always been instilled to me growing up, about, responsibility and safety and, and all that shit and respect for the equipment. So, when I first got mine, that's how I was. Like, I immediately just, like, kind of had it already in my head, to kind of be that way. So for me, it's like, I always get in that kind of mindset, so I mean, for me, it's a little different, I guess. I don't know if, like, your parents ever, did that, but my parents did, because both of them, my mom from Texas, my dad from Montana, you can imagine. I mean, my dad always went hunting and has his own weapons and stuff. I mean, growing up, he's always, taught me about that, even when it came to toy guns and shit. That's how he instilled it into me. He's just like, when it came to airsoft, paintball, or literally anything, he would always, just kind of do that as a little rule of advice. And everyone's done that with me, including my, family in Texas, because when I went ski shooting with them the first time, they kind of gave me a little, like, reminder about it. But I was like, oh, yeah, and I just immediately kind of partly cut them off and, like, said the rest of the rules. And it's like, oh, okay, you got it. Just wanted to make sure, because I know you're a Portland boy. And I'm just like, well, hey, my dad taught me right. He taught me right on that one. And so liberals and leftists need to learn as a skill. Republicans are great. So if someone's like, hey, you ain't no commie, are you? Be like, well, good son, these words cannot express my relief. Now the greatest president, Donald Trump, is back in office. I'm telling you, you and I and all my liberal friends, you're all going to regret voting for Biden. And just look at the economy. So you got to throw a kernel of truth to make it seem authentic. No, neither of my parents were big on it. Just mostly uncles. Okay. So maybe uncles probably did, but probably just didn't stick. But because my dad did it a lot, I mean, it stuck with me. And plus, I've been shooting a couple times growing up as a kid and a teenager, so I mean, I've been instilled that, during those times as well. And the thing is, like, that's why for me, especially as a leftist, I'm a lot more soft about these things, when it comes to like the PPs and freedom scenes, blah, blah, blah. I'm just trying to say it just because I know YouTube's a little finicky about it. But, like, because at least in comparison to my other friends, at least to an extent, it's just because, like, there is like a genuine, safer, responsible, elements, to the spectrum of gun culture. It's just that a lot of Americans aren't in that, unfortunately, and or at least it's not like it was anymore. But now it's about like, you just can't take them, get them off. You gotta take them by cold dead hands, liberal fuck, or whatever. Like, it's a little different now. Like, because when my dad was growing up, it was just kind of like common sense to be like, to instill it like it's a like a fucking nail on a like on a board, being like, oh no, like there's safety responsibility, you respect the fucking shit out of this and you don't point it at people, always treat it like it's loaded, the whole shebang. And it's like, that isn't really as instilled much anymore unless you're going through overt firearm training or something. And that's kind of a problem. Like, I mean, there needs to be a lot more of a resurgence of just genuine, safe, responsible firearm ownership. And honestly, from my experience, a lot of lefties are like that. I mean, way more so than conservative yokels, because they are the ones that love to bring their 30 packs of Bud Light or whatever, Miller High Life or whatever the fuck, get drunk off of them and shoot the cans and act irresponsible and all this other bullshit. Like, I mean, look at gun fail compilations and tell me that, like, literally not all of them are just fucking yokels or like some random girlfriend of one of those same yokels, given an overpowered gun to where that person should not, that woman should not be shooting. Like a fucking, like the Judge Revolver. Like, hey, hey, girl, you want to fucking shoot my judge right here? And she's like, oh, okay. Kabonk! It's like, that's bullshit and it's stupid. And irresponsible, just yokel, hick, bolt, just nonsense. It's bunk. It's like, I mean, it's okay to, like, hang out with your friends and partner or whatever and show them a little bit, because I do that with my friends. I mean, I'll be like, hey, here's how to operate it. Here's the safety. Here's this and that. But the thing is, I'm showing them so they don't fuck themselves up and hurt themselves. And I will tell them, it's like, hey, if something happens, like it does a failure to receive or eject, or it doesn't shoot or something, don't fuck a fit. Just give it to me and I'll look at it. And I'll show you just to, in future reference, in case it happens again, you can figure it out as well. So I'll show them, as well. Like, you have, like, I mean, if you're going to, like, do that, you have to kind of be a teacher. Unless your buddies also have their own guns and they already know. But if not, then you kind of have to be a teacher at that point. At least, when it comes to just like, hanging out with them and, doing that type of stuff like I do with my friends sometimes. And I need to do that with my friend Tyler because, like, not right now, anytime soon, to be fucking frank, considering his state of affairs. But, sometime in the spring or this next summer, maybe I'll, like, be like, yo, bro, you got this you got these, firearms and stuff. You never touched any of them. Bruh, get fucking ammo right now. Put a date. We're going to fucking, like, target shoot my bro. Because he hasn't. Like, I mean, he's got, like, some of his inherited from his dad, and he has his own Glock 10mm, Glock 40, and it's like, he has not taken any of them out, and he's had them for well over a year now. He hasn't touched any of them. He's not even gotten ammo for any of them. It's like, bruh, just on the verge of just wanting to take him out and go and shoot. Like, it was literally within a week when I started taking mine out. When I got him, it was like I was already stocking ammo up ahead of time because I knew, I was like, all right, I'm getting these bad boys. It's all good, is accessible and easy as fuck. 7.62, not as much, but that's why I got it ahead of time with that, because I just knew. It's all I wanted to go. And that next weekend, I did, and it was fun. Which, honestly, though, speaking of which, I do kind of want to take it out again at some point. Do, like, little fall/winter shootings. But so yeah, my first stuff. I have to assess the phone, see if everything, and figure that one out. Because I definitely want to a little bit, but I just don't want to buy like a box or two at a time. That's like if I'm going to, I'm gonna get it in bulk. So I have to figure that one out. I know Space Street learn how to turn the shit on down, though. It's like Daffy Duck. Always assume slowly. Yeah. I mean, yeah, the basic rules are pretty easy to understand. It's implementing them that's the challenge. Because honestly, I always have to remind my friends about that, especially don't point it unless you intend to shoot in that direction kind of thing. Like when you're done shooting, always have a barrel pointed down range, and when you're done, have it up like this. And then just usually what I do is I always just put my hand on the buttstock and just hold it up. Or I'll just have it down and then just kind of hold on to the pistol grip and just let it dangle on my side. But I also have a bandolier that strapped to the buttstock, so I just usually just let it dangle on my shoulder basically, and just let it dangle on the hip. So I mean, as long as it's pointed either down or just up, either hold it up or just let it dangle down, and just hold it downward. Then you can kind of walk around or whatever. But if you're all right, I'm done. Wasn't that cool, guys? And you point the barrel at people. It's just even if it ain't loading, you just dump the mag or whatever. It's don't do that. And I've always had to remind my friends to be now point the barrel either down or up and be don't do that. And sometimes burn my palm and be you son of a bitch. Be responsible, you fuck. Luckily, the last few times I never had to do that. But the first couple times I had to a few times. So I'm just you son of a bitch. Don't do that. I will legit get anal about it. But the liberals and leftists finally proved the right by showing the good people with redacted. These stop bad people with redacted. Yeah. It ain't possible. I mean, I will say though, I don't really think civil war or whatever the fuck is gonna happen though. I think there is a little hyperbolicness of that, but I mean, when it comes to the firearm ownership thing, I mean, I don't discourage it, nor am I hyper encouraging of it either. Just on the virtues, because I know some people probably are not necessarily fit for it, but if someone wants to go try it out, that's totally okay, right? I mean, because that's why I encourage my friends. I went out, or the first couple times when I invited them, it's hey, you want to tag along? I got a couple, 5-something hundred rounds or whatever the fuck, I got a shitload of 12 gauge. You want to join me? And eventually, some of them are all right, yeah, I got a day off. Why not? And especially my friend Arlie and Logan, they're oh yeah, this is actually pretty fun. I could see why you got into it or you're into this stuff. And I'm just yeah, because honestly, just on the minimal, I mean, it's just they're fun. I mean, as long as you're safe, responsible, and don't act like a fucking moron with them. I mean, yeah. I mean, they are legit really fun. Especially when you clink a steel target downrange, the sound of that bing, it's always satisfying. It's yeah. And also, I'm a little bit of an ASMR nut when it comes to guns. So, clacking in a mag, on my AK, then just racking it. It's dude, the sound of that, it's just oh. It's yeah. There's something to it, dude. There's something about getting a magazine in there, or getting clipping a bolt action, and then just there's always something about the sound of a weapon getting racked. You know what I mean? Just the sound of the bolt and stuff. There's something about it. I think if you ever do try it, or go out with maybe one of your uncles or something like that, well, however you try it. I think you might get what I mean, because there's something about those sounds, those little clinky little metallic noises where it's just yeah. I mean, for me, there's something about it where I do like it. I would honestly just like do it for the memes just because I have it right over there, but I just won't just because I know YouTube again is really fucking finicky about it, and I don't even want to do it off camera because I don't want them to get any ideas. They already gave me one warning when I didn't realize they changed the TOS about that. Luckily, it was just a 24-hour warning. Or like, don't do that again. I was like, okay. I acknowledge that I did not realize that. And they even like mentioned in their weird little email about it, where it's like, we acknowledge that you probably were not aware of the TOS change, so that's why there's a warning on that, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, fair enough. I suppose I'm glad they did that. That was generally kind of a benevolent thing when I did that, because I think it was like a morning stream, and I just happened to like, I don't even remember what. I think I was just like, showing it to Venom, I think, because I, got like a new part on it or something like that. I just wanted to show him or something. I forgot, something like that. I honestly forgot what it was. I mean, because it was a while ago, and it then all of a sudden, like, the stream, like, ended, like, pretty much, like, 30 seconds after that, and Venom was like, yo, bro, stream's just, like, literally gone. I was like, wait, what? And I wrapped it up, and then I realized, oh, it wasn't even going out because YouTube fucked it. I was like, oh, shit, okay. Well, that happened. And it's like, yeah, it's like 24 hours until you can do, another stream or something there, bruh. Fuck you. But we at least give you a warning because you probably didn't realize the TOS change. And then when I looked it up as to why they did it, apparently it's because there was a YouTuber, like not really a big one, but like he was like some streamer, but he was suffering from depression and legit like used Pew Pew to unalive himself on one of his streams, and hence why they did the TOS change, where it's like, like unless like it's a display piece, like let's say I had like a gun rack on the wall or whatever instead of this or some shit, and my AK was just hanging there, like that would be fine, because it's literally just a background thing. Or whatever the fuck, like, stuff like that. But if it's, like if you're holding it or doing anything with it, then that's when it's like it literally has to be just like a background piece and act as if it's just ambiance and just there. Like, it can't be touched or fucked with or anything. Which, I mean, I kind of get, but, I mean, it's like, man, yeah, it's literally like one fuck that ruins it for everybody. It's just like, man, because there are a lot of like, gun channels that would sometimes do streams where they're on their own property and they got their own little gun range on their property, and they'll be like, hey, what's up, guys? I got a few rifles out here, we're just going to just target shoot because got nothing better to do. I'll kind of check out the chat and every now and then see what y'all up to, blah, blah, blah. Because at least, before that happened, there, like I would see a few of those and I'd be like, all right, that's kind of cool. I mean, because despite knowing that, like, a lot of those communities are pretty conservative, I've always actually had pretty interesting, like, back and forths, not just with, like, some of the content creators, but also, like, with, some of the chat, too. Because a lot of them are definitely, like, weird mega dorks and all that bullshit, but there are some of them that are like, okay, you're kind of cool. I was about to mention Civil War. Yeah. Actually, I was about to actually kind of get back into that thing, though. I'm not saying Civil War is on the horizon or anything like that. I just mean in cases where women or queer people will have to deal with more rowdy cons. Yeah. Because honestly, I think why people are probably feeling that is because, obviously, how, like, a lot of these drag shows are getting harassed by, like, armed right-wing fucking psychos and shit. And there was even, like, armed, queer, groups, that would, like, defend these places and just stand outside with their firearms and have their, vests, tacked out of, like, pro-queer shit. I mean, I'm the same way with my fucking thing. It's like I even have it on my gun safe over here that says Armed Queers Bash Back, where it has an AK with the fucking, trans and queer flag right next to it, side by side. So, it's like, I mean, there's a lot of stuff like that where these people come back where it's like, yeah, hey, Tuka played this game. We're not going to do anything. We're just going to sit here. So just don't fuck with us. Just go away. The only reason why we're here is because of you pieces of shit. I mean, dude, and honestly, I got like a little. I mean, remember when that shit was going on, and I got a little bit of like a little heat, from even like from like people like Rip and other folks and stuff, where it's like, nah, this ain't really good and blah blah blah. And I'm sitting here like, man, not really, dude. Like, I mean, we have a Second Amendment right thing. There is a legal defense for what is going on with that type of stuff. And the thing is, like, it's not like anything's going to happen from that. You really think a lot of these right-wing fucks are going to be like, oh, there's a bunch of, like, armed queer folk people just sitting there guarding it? Well, light them up. Like, no, they're not going to do that shit, because if so, then why in the fuck did it not happen? Yeah, there was, like, some fights and stuff that happened, but none of that involved guns. Unless it was like a mass shooting, like with like Pulse nightclub, but that was like well before this shit ramped up, So it's just one of those things where it's just like, I mean, if this shit were to really pop off like some of these people think it would when this stuff happens, it would have happened already. Dude, even, in the 2020 protests, a lot of these Proud Boys in Portland, a lot of them had guns. I remember one of them who actually was a felon, should not have had a gun, had a fucking 357 Magnum, and that picture was literally just pointing it, cocked and loaded, just aiming it at people. Just like, fucking ready to pop somebody, or some shit. And it's like, huh? Which, by the way, that guy's in prison now. But, I mean, it's just like, what the fuck? I mean, there needs to be at least some level of, like, where can the bash back part come into play here? I mean, obviously there's an element of, like, the Martin Luther King, like, pacifistic, thing where, if they fucking, smack your cheek, you kind of look the other way and say, hey, you missed a spot. But at a certain point, it's like, if you're literally getting fucking killed or lynched or literally being to the point where you're probably going to fucking die or something, you got to fucking take a stand at some point. I mean, it's like, I kind of get that whole Jesus-esque mantra about that, but, I mean, I'm not exactly completely built like that. I'm willing to take, a slap or two, to a point. I want to be like, hey, you missed a spot. It's like, but hey, at a certain point, it's like, all right, you had enough. But despite a lot of that type of shit, I mean, and all the, like, because we've been for it once, to an extent, at the very end of Trump's tenure, right? Like, and even off and on, during his administration, like of Charlottesville and all this other shit. I mean, if shit were to really pop the fuck off, it would have happened then, right? But, like, and honestly, a lot of these other factors that, happened, like with Charlottesville and with, and with, like, Black Lives Matter protests, a lot of that, wasn't directly because of Trump. I mean, he indirectly played a role because he was a part of the problem, for sure. But a lot of it was because of other things, like because the Black Lives Matter protest was about George Floyd and police brutality against black folk, which that's been a problem way well before fucking Trump was even a fucking sperm cell in Fred Trump's dick. So, like, I mean, a lot of these things, are just a broader symptom. He just happens to be, in leadership now. And yeah, he's going to be a part of the fault and the problem because he has no intention of fucking crawling that shit. And if anything, he wants to expand that shit and let it be, more of a justification to use the cops to crack down harder. Give them an excuse to justify their fucking budgets and to fucking rape the taxpayers, in these cities and municipalities and in these counties, of proper fucking, things that you could actually invest in their own fucking societies. But no, let's make sure the cops, get all that. Let's make sure the police get a nice, good, fat, juicy budget that takes up half their fucking, like, local city fucking goddamn budget. And that's a problem regardless if it's a Democrat-ran city or a Republican city. That's a problem across the board. Don't let any other conservative, like one of these Fox News, listening chuckle fucks say otherwise, because that's just the ultimate truth. I'll say Portland will be on the up and up a little bit, because now we got Mayor Wilson, so that would be good. I mean, that means that at least Portland might be at least somewhat on the right track, and now the cops probably at least going to be, putting check around here a little bit. Not saying that much, but hey, it's at least a little something. So there's at least something going for that. But you gotta thank Ranked Choice Voting for that shit. At least Rene Gonzalez got fucked. He got quapped. He just got schmirked and murked and bunked out like kablunked. I was trying to find another way to rhyme that, but he just got destroyed. So I'm glad for that. I kind of figured he would. No one liked him as a fucking county commissioner or city commissioner, or city council or whatever. And of course, no one was going to like him as mayor. I'm really glad about that. I was kind of worried that he would be kind of contestive in that, but no. It was in third or fourth place or some shit, so good. Fuck him. Should we do it Kamala because it's not she's... Oh, wait. Oof. Isn't she? Yep. A cop. And the thing is, do you think that she would be nice on protesters? Do you think she would be kind to protesters? Do you really think she would, be critical of the police? Because, of course, she wouldn't. I never trusted a cop, and frankly, honestly... I mean, this is another factor when it comes to, the Democrats fucking failing. Is that the media, the Democratic Party, a lot of the broader, status quo of the apparatus and shit when it comes to our system, they're going to make so much fucking money, raising money, talking about Trump every fucking day. Dude. Every fucking news outlet, the Democrats, they're going to constantly talk about it every fucking day. This is why I'm going to take a break for politics for a while, because I knew it was either going to talk about Coconut Milk Mama Harris, or it was going to be Trump. I knew for nonstop, every fucking day, it was going to be their names are going to be brought up in some way or another. And I'd just be oh my God. But now more than ever, I'm just going to be it's not I'm checking out, but I'm stepping away just for a sec. Needing money. And the thing is, I can't do that quite yet because there's going to be some shit later now when I'm down here. It's you'll know when I'm ready for that break. You'll see it in me. I'll snap. You'll know it. Should be out against protesters of a fucking thing filler while cackling. Dude, I love my dad's little nickname from Kamala. Cackling Kamala. And I'm just you are kind of right though. Next time it gets the fuck in here, I want to be yo, can I borrow your phone so we can kind of look at her concession speech? And I'll even let him join in on the party. I want to see how fucked she is. I'm kind of a little weirdly impatient. I kind of want to see that. I don't want to just stop this just to watch it really quick. But if my pops in here, maybe I could just jack his phone really quick because I think he might be sleeping. Who knows? Man, I can. Dude, well, I want to see how zonked out. Is it way more than usual? Is it legit dead ass more than usual? Is it because I know I kind of have this little slight slur. I know she has that. Is it that but times 10? Is she did she drink a whole bottle of tequila and take a whole fucking thing of Xannies? Was this straight did she quadruple her dose that she usually does? Actually, you don't really need to answer that because I already know it's yes. I already know it's yes. All right. Well, I know for sure, once shit gets recollected for myself, we'll definitely have a little look at that for sure. We'll deep dive it. I was saying, man, I can't believe, fuck, I lost my train of thought. Wait, so she actually legit loses her train of thought at some points? Or are you actually just saying that yourself? Oh wait, hold on. This is it, folks. This is the end times. Any day I know Trump can end democracy, as we know, and that's all we need you to do. You need your donations. Oh my God, dude. They're already doing the campaign funding. They're already trying to get. Oh my God, you gotta be kidding me, dude. You're actually serious. She actually did that. She fucking threw that out there. She dead ass threw that out there. The Democrats are not going to learn. They're not going to learn. That to me proves they're not learning from this, and they're not going to ever. Oh my fucking God. Oh no, it's being facetious. Oh my, okay, thankful. Oh. Okay, do you realize the relief on me I was, I mean, because I was about to be, I think that was about to happen there. I mean, I lost my train of thought. Whatever. I mean, we got a right to kind of be like, what the fuck, a little bit. I mean, to be fair, I think we, whatever the perspective is about things, we all kind of have a right to feel that way a little, honestly. Because, yeah, I will say this. I mean, I did expect, there to be a one or the other, right? But I didn't really generally expect that it would be Trump, but in the way that it happened. I mean, that's what kind of fucks with my brain a little bit. The popular vote, and okay, you know what? We're going to deep dive this at some point because I want to see what the popular vote was for 2020 and 2016. And I want to compare it to this one because is it because people sat it out, or is it because generally more people just legit voted for him? I want to know what we got to deep dive this one. And obviously I know there's new voters, first time voters and stuff. I already get that. But I had an old message. Well, we type it here. I'm really bad about reading messages tonight. Though to be fair, I also got a lot to say. I go for those moments, and tonight is certainly and absolutely definitely no exception. I would bet a testicle. Damn. I had that an hour before the speech. Okay. Hold on, I might need it for that one. Oh shit! What the fuck, dude? Before the speech, Kamala has someone run down to the nearest Walgreens to get her the most pungent box wine. The most pungent. Oh, I love that detail too. The most pungent of box wines, not your typical box wine, but the most pungent of the box wines. And also, do you know that she kind of pulled a Hillary too? She didn't make a speech, that night. She did it earlier this morning. She pulled a Hillary, bro. And somehow performed worse than her. I want to see if, honestly, Hillary won more votes on popular vote-wise. Because if so, oh my God. I'm going to have some fucking words to say. If not, then maybe not. But if so, I swear to fuck, I'm going to have some words. Holy shit, I got the train of thought. I can't believe I'm going to be fucking 33 when Trump is finally out of office again. Well, hey, we got this to look forward to. We don't have to worry about him anymore after that. And frankly, he might not really be around for that long, potentially. I mean, I don't need to go on a little rant about his fucking health because it's ridiculous. So, I don't know, I mean, I know we would have J.D. Vance, but honestly, I think the power vacuum and the infighting between MAGA and just the Republican Party in general, especially really also against Vance to an extent. Weirdly enough, I think there might be a silver lining to that. Now that I'm kind of thinking about it, there might be a silver lining. Because there's a power vacuum once Trump croaks. Because honestly, I really do dead-ass believe within the next 4 years, like sometime during his term, he's going to croak. Just due to health complications, like a heart attack. He's so constipated with his, shitty poopy diaper shit. Like there's like a weird backup, like he dies like Elvis or something. You know what I mean? Like he's got like weird moldy, chalky fucking like shit in his colon or something. That's just like, that just hasn't passed through. Oh God. Oh man, something like that. I'm just, my vivid imagination is fucking me hard on that one because, oh god, But anyway, but like I was saying, but like when it comes to Vance, the Republicans don't like him. No one really likes him. No one really does. There's like a few people that kind of do. Like, and I'm sure like Ohio, because it's Ohio, probably does. But beyond that, like, I don't really think a lot of people like him. I don't even really think Ohioans like him. But. Like, with that, and plus the like infighting power vacuum shit that would happen for sure to try to kind of be like the next heir in leadership of the MAGA movement, J.D. Vance ain't got no gutzpah. He ain't got the cojones for that shit. He just wants to go fuck a couch. That's all he wants to do. So, I don't think he's got it. You know what I mean? Like, so I feel like it would literally be a deadlock, and the Republicans will not get anything done at all. Outside of like statewide with like, state government, leadership shit within the red states, like beyond that, these Republicans probably won't get fucking anything done. Even with their usual bullshit like tax cuts and all sorts of stuff. I also kind of feel that way. In the midterms, if, it really ends, like, let's say, like, this scenario happens before the midterms, those midterms, Republicans are getting fucked like that so hard, it would make your head spin. It'd make your head spin, folks. So, I don't know. I honestly really feel strangely kind of confident about this now that I'm kind of thinking about it. But maybe that's my optimism, but... like I said, I was trying to tell my other friends too, because they were kind of a little panic mode, themselves. I'm just like, hey, like, let's take, a little time to chill a little bit. Let's relax. Let's like collect our thoughts, and we can all like kind of hash it out, together in the future about it. Because hey, the world ain't gonna collapse. The world has not literally, collapsed into nuclear hellscape. So things honestly, and might be okay. But I don't know. I guess it's just one of those things where we'll just have to see, and I hope I'm right. But especially lately, and considering I've been through enough cycles, I'm kind of calling some shit though. So I don't know. I think I might potentially, hopefully, my optimism, gets. A good little mark on this one. And this is coming from a jaded pessimist son of a bitch. So it's kind of strange that the most pessimistic one of my friend group, me, is also the one that also strangely is the most optimistic right now. But maybe it's just because some of my expectations are already very low. So maybe that's it. I don't know. That's what I was saying before the election too. Like, maybe it's better if Trump gets president because now there's no other candidate on him unless Kanye 2028. Oh, Kanye is just that was literally a meme election. That was a meme candidacy. I don't even think it really meant it. I think he was literally in such a bipolar fucking frenzy mental health crisis at that time that I don't even think he really meant it. But that would mean the cons voting for a black guy. I don't know. The Republicans are going to have to figure out, like, who's going to be, like, the heir of their party right now. Because they're already in kind of, like, that cult mentality as it is. So, who's, like... I really feel like a lot of the administration is just going to literally be, like, who's the heir? Because fuck Vance, no one really likes him. Like right when Trump announced that, The Republicans, insiders are all like, why in the fuck did you choose him? Like, they were all not happy about it because they don't like him. They know he's a weirdo and they don't like him. I mean, so if he ends up being, potentially, the next president because of, Trump's health getting the better of him, I don't know, man. He ain't gonna do shit. Like, the Republicans will literally stop him from doing anything because they don't like him. They don't want their name attached to them. His career will be fucking over after this. This is literally his, like, little 15 minutes of fame. Like, honestly, Vance has probably been sucking on that little mushroom cock, this entire time because that's all he has to thank for him having his 15 minutes of fame. Because beyond this, he's done. Like, because legit, no one likes him. Oh, of course, yeah. Vance will be fucking big comfy couch, yeah. Why was that even a question? Why was that a question? Of course he would. Of course he would. Oh, he would love it too. Get a little like Astroglide in there. Oh, dude, because it would be leather too. Oh, dude, he would get like, a few little like hand warmers, stuff them in there really quick, take them out because, get the, oh, dude, yeah, oh, bro, dude, he would be like, this is like the most biggest luxurious thing I've ever had since putting a little fucking glove in it. Oh my god, dude, holy shit. He would be probably busting the biggest nut in his life over that couch, bro. Over that big comfy White House leather couch, he would be busting the biggest fucking nuts like that no man has ever busted, bro. It would legit be gallons, bro. Like legit. Oh my god. Holy shit. Oh my god. He would like, once he, leaves, power and shit, and once he leaves the White House, he's literally going to steal that couch. And he's still going to take it for himself. He's going to take that. He's literally going to steal that couch. I'm looking at a picture of Soros right now, and it looks fucking disturbing. Why are you looking at a picture of George Soros? Oh my god. Do you want me to DM it? Do I really want to look at that right now? Oh my god. Okay. Fuck it. Alright. Well, not... Okay, never mind. Damn. Oh, I know there's like a way to highlight this, so I'm actually going to do that because I'm not going to lie, that was a nice little arc of absurdity. I'm going to call it the Vance Leather Couch Conspiracy. Just look out for that. It will happen. Share my pain. I don't want to share your pain. Fuck. Alright. Well, if you had to share the pain of, like, thinking about, like, a Elvis-style death of Donald Trump where he has, like, chalky shit in his colon and his gut where, like, it literally, like, fermented and, like, caused, like, sepsis in his intestines and shit. Like, if you have to imagine that vivid imagery, then I guess I have to suffer with this, so... Also, Jeanette Kardashian, that ugliest politician that Paul Zigo fucking unfortunately found for us. Fucking good Christ alive. Like, thank God she lost. She only got like 17% of the vote and like lost miserably. Because I don't think anyone wants like a literal demon goblin creature as a fucking... I don't think anyone wants someone like that. It looks like he's about to burst into tears while his face is melting. Oh, god damn. Okay, well, here we go, I guess. Here I go, I guess. You made me blind. I'm literally blind now. Okay, this is actually kind of tricky. Fuck. This is what you did to me. This is what you did to me. I think it is a shame all the virtual things you do. I'm a better anarchist than you. I don't wear leather, and I like my clothes in black. And I made a really cool hammock from a moldy. So this is what Itchy from Star Wars Holiday Special looks like without his fur. Oh God. Oh God. Oh hell, Lord mercy. Lord of mercy. Oh my God. Delete the Discord message so you don't have to look at it. Dude, I'm not gonna lie, that legit disturbs me. George Soros should take up, like, you know, being like horror, you know, demons and goblins in fucking movies, dude. Not that Soros needs the money. I mean, he should be forcibly volunteered to do it. You know, but I mean, he should do it nonetheless. Like, someone take him to North Korea and let him, like, you know, be like, you know, one of those, like, you know, white villain Hollywood stars or some shit, but it's like Korea would or whatever the fuck, but it's North Korea, you know what I'm saying? I mean, North Korea's done that before. They've kidnapped fucking all, like, you know, like, movie stars and shit and use it for their movies, so, you know, let's just use that for Soros and just be like, yeah, you're making movies now. Just for the North Korean government. And the compromise that we get with Kim Jong-un is that, like, hey, you just have to release that movie nationwide and worldwide. You have to release that for everybody. Everyone has got to fucking, you know, see this movie. You can have them, but everyone's got to see it. Globally. And yes, you can have the royalties and the funds and blah, 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 blah. Because, you know, hey, you know, why not, you know. Might as well, right? If I mean, you know, if we're gonna give him the curse and the bane that is the goblin, you know, Soros, then it might as well, because he's looking extra goblin, dude. And he's looking a little extra, dude. He really looks like a ghoul from Fallout now at this point, but he just looks really sad, at least in that picture. I mean, if it wasn't for the fact he looks so disturbingly ugly, like, I would actually kind of feel bad for him. He looks so sad. It's like, damn. It's like, damn, bro. It's like, goddamn, dude. My dog is really being the emo boy. I'm gonna go to the bathroom quick. I'll be back. Well, my dog is literally in the bathroom, just curled up in a ball, like a little jelly bean. And it refuses to leave. I gave him a little bunch of snuggles and loves and squitches, but he was curled up like a fat little croissant. And he refused to leave. And it was like, all right, fine, stay in here, I guess. He was napping hardcore, though. Like, it kind of disturbed his little slumber. I almost felt bad for it, but it's like, you little bean, why don't you just, like, get the fuck out of here and be in here? But nope. Trying to catch him Z's. Yeah, for real. He's like, I just want to be here and just, like, sleep. Your music disturbs me and your ranting annoys me. I'm an emo boy, and I'm going to be more emo than usual, Dad. Fuck you. It's just like how he is. It's like, he literally looked up at me after I, like, looked down at him when I was about to leave. I was like, you jelly bean. I just couldn't help but give him at least a little scritches of lows, because it's like, what the fuck, bro? What is up with you? You little string bean. Maybe he's an introvert and uses quiet time. Oh, well, hey, I'm the same way. Probably gets it from me. Speaking of melting old people. Melting old people. Oh, my God. That's another lesson we have learned from Biden administration, is that old people don't know when to get the fuck out of the way. What they had made Biden step down is, like, in the second year, and Kamala was like, hey, we need to be sending out the second half of those COVID checks, so we would be dealing with smug blue instead of smug red. I, weirdly enough, would kind of prefer smug blue, because I'd rather the red be molding. Because, we're always catching fucking strays whenever, the blue is molding. Because it's like, left red motherfuckers are always like, what the fuck? Why am I catching a stray, you son of a bitch? Fuck you. It's like, what the hell? We're the ones always catching strays. It's like, what? It's like, well, damn it. Ain't my fault that your party sucks. I'm sick of it. It's like, what the hell? I mean, we'll admit this, though. I mean, I haven't really been hearing a lot of, like, kind of shit. It's just kind of more like, yeah, well, It's not really, like, as energetically venomous, It's like, it's just kind of like, I mean, it's just kind of tepid, though, It's like, both sides are really kind of tepid about this whole thing. It's just a boring fucking election, and honestly, it just kind of shows that most people didn't give a fuck about it, really. Most people weren't investing in it. I'm willing to bet, that, like, no, okay, we're definitely going to be looking into it. At least I will for sure in the future, like, or maybe even later. Because, like, I'm willing to bet, like, some of this popular vote thing, at least at the minimal. I mean, at least when it comes to the, votes and stuff, like, I'm pretty sure it wouldn't be that much different from 2020, at least in numbers. Maybe a little more, because we got, like, some first-time voters, but even then, there's probably some of those potential first-time voters who are like, so, I don't know. I mean, definitely want to at least kind of look into it, a little bit myself, just kind of, see. I'd rather see Adams as president before Rocket Boy. Well, I mean, Arnold is from Austria, so he literally legally can't. I mean, Cenk actually, weirdly enough, tried to, like, run for president and make an argument, to be like, hey, if you're a naturalized citizen and, first and foremost, like, if you're a citizen, full stop, naturalized, born here, whatever, like, then you could run for president. Like, he was trying to kind of make that argument, so I kind of actually could respect Cenk for that a little bit, because I was kind of on board about that. It's like, yeah, because why not? That's a draconian, stupid fucking rule, at this point. Updated to just be like, yo, you're a citizen, naturalized, born here or otherwise. And there you go. I think it was responding to all this. Well, I can respond to them. Well, actually, I guess I didn't read this part yet. I sent it past not allow someone to be born in the U.S. Oh, I guess, yeah, you're pretty much, yeah, I guess I'm pretty much saying exactly what you just mentioned. But yes, I suppose that, well, I guess I'm just literally saying what you said, but I just didn't realize you said it already. Again, I'm a little been notorious about missing messages, literally all fucking night tonight, even from the get-go, okay? Like, I mean, a lot of things, a lot to say, it's like, what can I say? But I suppose you're right. Like, when it comes to Elon, that's like, honestly, the silver lining. Because that motherfucker would potentially be president, and it's like, oh, hell no, I don't want that. No. That would be bad. I want him deported as far as I can. Like, he's the one dude I'm just like, nope, deport him. Beyond that, like, yeah, fuck the world, though. I suppose that is a silver lining, I guess. It's... You could get some of that type of shit. Brainwave synchronization in a remote scanning space. That happens a lot, honestly, especially between me and Rose. So, like, we legit, I will say some shit, and he'll be like, I was just about to say that. Or he'll already say some shit, and I'll be like, oh, damn, we were already on the same wavelength. It happens, actually. It happens a lot. We've even actually broke it down. It's like, is there actually anything we can, like, hardcore disagree with where we're like, what the fuck? And honestly, we've literally tried. I mean, there's a few things I think we did find to disagree about, but it was always cordial anyway. It's like, oh, well, like, I think it's just incapable of being like, Grr! We're just incapable of doing that to each other. I mean, we're a little too like-minded in that way, I think. Elon trying to make power lines out of plastic forks. Oh my god, dude. Knowing that fucking weird little chipmunk brain fuck, he probably would. He totally would, dude. We both certainly bring the energy. We definitely do. And then when Logan shuts up, he's the one who brings the energy, and I'm sitting here having to reserve it sometimes and be like, what? I mean, there's a few times where I'm having to be like, let me step in. Because I've even mentioned in the past, like, sometimes I can't get a word in edgewise. And sometimes I got my thoughts. I have things to say. It's like, son of a bitch. I feel like Logan absorbs our energy. No, for real. It's more like he is the energy. He's always been like that. It's like a walk and run-on sentence. I don't know if he would take that as an insult or a compliment. I'm really dead ass to not know. I have a weird feeling he'd be like, what the fuck? Yeah, fuck you. But at the same time, I mean, you're not wrong. But no, I mean, he's always like that, though. I mean, it's not like he absorbs the energy. He just is the energy. It radiates more and it overpowers the other energy forces that are around. Because, I mean, obviously, I'm sure y'all seen it, especially lately a lot. And, it's like, I mean, you see my energy on here. And then all of a sudden when he pops in, I'm just like, well, guess my radioactive energy is just like overpowered now. It's like, and you'll see sometimes I'm just like, I want to get a word edgewise, but this doesn't happen. MAGA retracted. MAGA retracted. MAGA. Redacted. Mistyped. Sorry. Nah, you're good. I just thought that was a little funny just seeing that out of nowhere. You're probably trying to catch me while I'm doing this, and I'll be like, I wonder what he said. You were trying to catch me, but I saw that shit. I got hawk eyes. I just thought of something. Zach Lamino's suspect. Yeah. And sometimes Logan kind of can occasionally get ahead of himself sometimes because I was even telling him before we dipped, from last night, I was like, because I think he kind of misinterpreted, about, something I was saying. I was telling him, it's like, I mean, hey, like, I mean, I know how, like, you are, and also of myself, like, we try to bring each other up, and I feel like right now that's a little bit my role. I feel like I need to be kind of damage control for some of my friends a little bit, and kind of maybe try to temper some of their feelings about some shit, like, because obviously, I mean, I don't feel good about anything either, but I just kind of was primed for it, like you were saying from earlier, and I was like, just kind of, being steeled for the outcomes either way, it's like I was already ready for that. I was like, just let's get the fuck over with because we already know it's going to be one or the other. Let's just see what the fuck results are and let's get her done, it's like, and once it happened and the day, was going up, but even leading up to it, when it came to like looking at like polls stuff, I was thinking like, this shit's going to hedge on Pennsylvania and Michigan potentially, maybe, and it basically did. Ultimately, it was on Pennsylvania, right? Like, so I was kind of steeled for what was going to happen and not surprised by it. I'm just a little surprised that it didn't end up being Trump to an extent. And like I said, it doesn't feel good. I ain't, happy about it, obviously. And I don't think things are literally going to be fine. It's just that, like, we still have each other. We're in the West Coast, we got community online, personally here, otherwise and stuff. And if not, then establish more of it, build more of those branches and stuff. Because at this point, we definitely need it more than ever. State, local shit, like, community-wide type of stuff. Like, that really is, at this point, more important than fucking ever. And as someone who's kind of like an anti-electoralist type, it's like, I've been saying that for quite the fucking while. And in a weird way, it's kind of nice to see that a lot of my friends are really starting to feel that way. Even some of my more Libby friends that I've met, like, my buddy Wahat's, like, he's a lot more of like not like establishment them kind of type, but a lot more of a, more liberal, progressive type of person. And it's like, and even he is like, yeah, fuck this shit. Local state stuff and community stuff is more important right now at this point. Blah, 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 blah. It's like a lot of like, whether they're like kind of lib progressive leaning or full on like left progressive leaning, or just full fucking left like my ass and shit. Like, I mean, there's a common feeling a little bit, that's going on right now. That's just like, yeah, there needs to be some real changes, especially on these local levels, because it's obvious how, this is the establishment in this current system, is over and over again, it's been kind of proving this, that like you're kind of on your own, fuck you, basically. Like, so, I mean, hey, I guess better late than ever, but, it's just one of those things where, that's why I kind of feel a little bit weirdly optimistic about it, because, like, there's going to be a lot of fighting. And I don't mean, like, infighting kind of stuff. I mean, that's going to happen, but I think a lot of that's going to be more trajected at just this whole system. Not just, Trump and his administration, but just in general. Because, honestly, overall, people are not fucking happy. I mean, because there's not a lot of energy with that election. Like, it's been pretty fucking tepid. Not a lot of people are really investing in shit because people are just not happy. And of course, like the core MAGA group, and shit. Of course, they're gonna fucking, show up and stuff. That's not shocking. But when it comes to everybody else, no one's happy enough to fucking, be invested in this shit. I don't blame them. I'm just going to get more pissed. There's going to definitely be a lot of protests and shit like that in the future, but I think just people are like focused on too much other shit right now to really care yet. But it's like I've always said, I mean, I'm not the originator to quote, but it's like, you might not give a fuck about politics, but politics gives a fuck about you. I mean, people wonder happy outside a bunch of gloaty Twitter accounts. Yeah, because they're egotistical, narcissistical shitbags, and, they want to fucking gloat, their ego on top of all this shit. You got those type of people. Which proves Paul right again, that internet, not real world. Yep. Pick yourself up, dust yourself off, keep fighting, take character sometimes, but you gotta try. Exactly. And if anything, and I've said this, in the last like with this cycle up until 2015, with that cycle, I've always said this. It's just like, yeah, you only get knocked down but get up again, but you learn and humble yourself from the shit. The whole take the W or take the L. We gotta take this L, humble yourself and learn from the shit and do better. So the next time we can take that fucking W. I mean, I know Logan would probably take some inspiration out of that shit because I know how much of a big sports guy that he is. I mean, he would get that. I mean, because that's ultimately what we got to do right now. We got, people on from the lib side to all the way to the left of the left. Like, I mean, we got to take the L and learn from this shit. I think a lot of us already kind of have to an extent, but it's just like, I mean, it's more than I think other people need to an extent. Because I took that L back in 2016 to humble myself then. I was trying to maybe hope that others would, but it's like, But I think now I think now those cracks have now shown, and I think now people are starting to realize that. Which again, I think that's another silver lining thing for me, especially now. After kind of rambling on doing my thing, it's like I think there is a sense of really generally kind of a sense of optimism for me in a sense, and a weird relief if you think about it, because we don't have to deal with Trump anymore after this. And I know there were some people, at the time I didn't really 100% agree with it, but maybe in hindsight, I don't know. There were some people saying hey, fuck Biden because we could just deal with one more, term of this fuck and then that's it. We're done. Because at this point, he wouldn't be running again. He literally wouldn't be able to unless he wants to try to fucking do the Jan 6 shit now. Right, but I don't even think at this point he would. I don't know. It's like obviously we're not in that timeline, but I mean it's because you can always go back and think. It's like, oh, what if this? What if that? But because obviously, what if Hillary won? Back in 2016. Because then with Trump running in 2020, it's like you could fucking do these what ifs, but it's like because I used to entertain stuff a lot like that, but now at this point it's like, yeah, fuck that shit. Because you can think about it all you want, but does it fucking matter? I mean, at this point, you gotta humble yourself and fucking, take the L and just learn from the shit instead of just thinking about what if or if only we did this and that. It's like, well, yeah, if only we did, not do that next time. But no one, at least the Democratic Party broadly, and a lot of their rah-rah system ball political football cheerleaders and shit, never want to learn that part, and learn from the past on that shit. They haven't the last 3 cycles. They haven't learned since Clinton. Because if it wasn't for COVID, Biden probably would have lost. It literally, if it wasn't for COVID and the economy getting fucked because of that during 2020, Trump would have won that election. Biden won on the virtue of it being an anti-Trump vote. And honestly, a lot of Democrats kind of wanted to try to hedge on that bet again. And it's like, that ain't gonna work this time, Chief. Because obviously it didn't. We've got to. We're not responsible for shit. Well, I'm not saying got to. I'm saying that just generally broadly. I mean, because like I said, obviously there's a lot that, of people that have, and already know this shit. And if anything, are the ones, that are saying that. I'm saying that on a very broadly general level. That's why I was not trying to, like I was saying from earlier about the I told you so thing. I didn't want to paint it as a general thing because I'm not necessarily saying that to anybody here. I'm just saying that just generally. Just that, voice in itself just needs to be more of the predominant thing from the people that do already know this shit and been saying it for a while. It's like, yo, are y'all gonna take that hell and humble yourselves and shit? Instead of doing all this other weird political FUBA nonsense, because the real world does not, it's not the same as this weird shit. Okay, get it. Yeah, that's it. That's why it's yeah. That's why I was like saying about not trying to do a total generalization about it. I mean, well, it is, but you know, like not to anyone here in particular, unless maybe someone lurking around probably needs to hear it. It's kind of like saying 2020 before COVID. Trump's going to say Biden has dementia and then he'll win by a landslide. Well, he might have. And he already. Well, and the thing is, he kind of did. Even without that. I feel like Mr. Krabs said when it comes to that, a hospital and his arms fall off, he goes back inside. Right. Well, hey. And also sometimes it can be, you know, hard to like, you know, interpret every tiny little thing sometimes. So I feel like the back and forth on this particular platform. But I definitely want to at least try to like, you know, hang with my buddy, you know, at Metal T though, and maybe kind of like at least, you know, kind of tell him about like some of the stuff I was mentioning tonight for sure. Because I think if I let him know about some of that stuff, I think he would at least, you know, maybe be a little more reassured because he was even saying it's like I might need a little therapy, take a break from this type of shit, and I just need reassurance because what the fuck? It's like, dude, bro. That's why I was saying from earlier. I need to be damage control. Need to be the fireman, you know, out there fucking putting out fires, bro. It's like shit. And our news finally watched Sheriff Fire 3. I still need to get around to doing that. I definitely still need to do that myself. Also, I was thinking in the back of my mind, do I want to make some pasta with some tomatoes and some deliciousness, or do I just want some pizzas? Little Red Baron pizzas. Thing is, I don't know if I have enough pasta to potentially make a full delicious shebang. Pizza. Yeah, I was thinking about, yeah. I work tomorrow anyway, so I'll just get some more pasta and make that tomorrow. And plus, I could maybe see if we get some chicken tendies, or maybe I can grab like, you know, some salami or something like that from my department. Ooh. And I can make sure I re-up on my seasonings. Because this is also payday tomorrow. You know what? Yep. There we go. Because I need to get some like Italian seasoning, some oregano, parsley. I need to re-up on some seasonings. Love my seasonings. I love my seasonings and I love my spice. I want more spice. The spice must flow. We must continue our spice production. You know what, dude? You're just gonna be pissed if he sees this, but I bet he could kick Art's ass. Oh, like, well, as long as he doesn't have a weapon, I can handle him fine. I mean, wait, why would TJ be pissed on the idea that, you know, he can kick Art's ass? Because wouldn't he be like, well, yeah. Unless he wants to be slaughtered by him. Oh, that you could? Well, okay, now I get it. Well, I think he wouldn't be pissed. He would just be like, oh, no, well, I could, motherfucker. And then he would just, like, you know, mention how he could, which, I don't know, depending on the scenario. But also, no, teacher, he'd just be like, nah, I could. Well, how would you? I just would. Fuck you, I just would. I'll just, like, take a fucking toaster and just clobber his skull, you know? Yeah. I mean, would you really be able to get that close? Yeah, I would. Yeah, no, fuck him. Yeah, no, I would be able to. Yeah. No, it's knowing him. Yeah, like straight up hand to hand. Probably not. Worth a shot. I would say like out of 100 times, it'd probably be like maybe like out of 100, maybe like 40 times out of 100. I probably could. Because I have super strength, so maybe durability. Yeah, like he'd probably be durable. He has his weapons and shit. And also, like, I mean, I would have to get a way to get close to be able to, like, find a way to tackle him down. Like, if I could get him on the ground, then I could literally just, like, kick his head in, basically, you know? Like, I could literally just start using my legs to just go boom, boom, you know, just start kicking him and shit, you know? So, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, if I could at least just get him on the ground, I'd be good. I could fuck him up after that. That's just a key factor. As long as I can just get him on the ground, then I'll be good. Apparently, only a magic sword can kill him. Well, I can at least fuck him up enough to where he ain't gonna get up anytime soon. So if I can get a way to get to that magic sword, you know, then bada bing, bada boom. If I can get him on the ground, fuck him up enough to where he's like, whoa, you know, on the ground or whatever, then I can just like grab that shit and just like just stab him, dude. Just boom. Go fucking old London style on that shit. I know we're going off for a while. I haven't even looked at the time. What time is it? Oh wow. It's actually 2:30 on the dot. Oddly enough, surprisingly not as long as I thought. Low-key, I kind of thought it was like 3:30 or some shit. Between the election, then daylight savings, and all that shit, man, my sleep has been mega fucked, and I seriously, really, really, really need to fix that shit. That's why I'm thinking of pizzas. And just like, you know, a little catch up on like some ideology. Just hanging out my little pooch and snuggle with him in the bed. Sounds like it'd be a good evening. Sounds like excelente. Because that little bean is apparently a little sleep bean, so there's going to be a little jelly bean in it. It's going to be like, whoa, forcibly snuggle him, and he's just going to have to deal with it. If not, then he's going to be a squirm ball, but, you know, like I said, he's just going to have to deal with it. Eventually, he'll give up. He'll just be like, ugh. Eventually, he'll just do that and give up, and I'll just be like, yeah, that's right. Submit, motherfucker. You're going to be my little plush little cuddle teddy bear. Yeah, just put art in a chain chest and then push that in the ocean, problem solved until Terrified 4. Yeah, there's that too. Yeah, you're right. Just fuck him up enough, you know, just put him in like some chest or some coffin or, you know, do Mafia style, put like a bunch of fucking like concrete blocks tied to his fucking ankle and just chuck him in the ocean. Chuck him into Mariana Trench, because then you got like that fucking pressure, because he's just going to be rapidly descending down to the bottom in the Mariana Trench. You know the fucking pressure change will just fuck his body up. I mean, look at fucking, you know, the Titanic sub, dude. Look at Ocean Gate, bro. Look what happened there. I'm telling you, man. Because when he comes back for Terrifier 4, he'll be so, like, mush and fucked that, like, would he even really be able to do anything? Come on now. You know. Just gotta fuck him up enough and just, like, keep him in the chest somehow. Make sure he's locked in there. It's nice and secure. Just long enough to get to, like, the Mariana Trench, and there you go. That's all you gotta do. Pretty simple. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. Next Starfire should take place on the Titan sub. The Titan sub. Oh my god, that would be pretty cool. Honestly, now I'm wondering what they're going to do for the next Starfires because they perform so well. So, they better do pretty good with that. They better do some good shit, because if not, I'm going to be very disappointed. was super impressed with the movies till now. I'd say third one's really impressed me. Well, I'll definitely at least have to check them out. I might at least check the first two out, just for the fuck of it. But I definitely want to at least, watch the third one for sure. But I think after that, I might actually get into some TV shows because there's been two that I want to check out: The Sopranos and Boardwalk Empire. I might start acting like a little bit of a mafioso. Get my gabagool, kind of shit. Well, I'm kind of joking, but I want to at least, check that shit out. Because YouTube Shorts has constantly been showing me that shit. I'm just like, all right, fine. I'll find where I can watch it, and I'll just check it out. Fuck you. It's just like, oh my lord. For me, it's just that once you get over the shock value of the gore, it tends to lose its impact. Sure. But I do like, my gory, absurd schlock movies, though. So, I mean, honestly, for me, it'd be good. YouTube Midwest Angelica, thank me later. Midwest Angelica, I'll keep it in mind. Actually, I'll just, see if I can find something on that really quick anyway, because I'm actually going to grab my pizzas and stuff, because the budget's starting to hit a little bit. And I have at least enough seasoning to doctor up those bad boys so they're going to be like, nice. But anyway, I'll check that out. Midwest Angelica. Cool. That actually sounds like kind of a cool name for a show. So anyway, peace out for now. And see you on the next one. So, toodaloo.